Welcome to BTM Reviews, where we talk about the news. Got the scoop you need to hear. Stay a while, join the cheer. Super chat me, let's go live. Feel the buzz and take a dive. Super chat me, don't delay. Join the fun, it's here today. Pour the bourbon, let it flow. Talking drinks you need to know. Whiskey's aged in barrels old. Stories told in glasses full. Super chat me, let's go live. Feel the buzz and take a dive. Super chat me, don't delay. Join the fun, it's here today. Boys and gadgets, playtime fun. From old school to brand new ones. Action figures, cars that zoom. Fill your heart and light the room. Super chat me, let's go live. Feel the buzz and take a dive. Super chat me, don't delay. Join the fun, it's here today. Movie flicks on silver screens. Drama, action, fill your dreams. Real to real, the stories told. Lights and camera, new and old. Super chat me, let's go live. Feel the buzz and take a dive. Super chat me, don't delay. Join the fun, it's here today. Movies, flicks on silver screens. Drama, action, fill your dreams. Real to real, the stories told. Lights and camera, new and old. Super chat me, let's go live. Feel the buzz, come take a dive. Super chat me, don't delay. Join the fun, it's here today.
Hey guys, this is Dave with BTM Reviews. How's everybody doing tonight? It's today Wednesday. Yeah, good day today. Got to wake up. So that's the first thing that always starts my day is waking up. Hold on. My dogs say hello too, by the way. Yeah, so we're going to talk about some stuff. You know, we've been watching that series of JJ Trujillo movies or videos that he's made about the Rippaverse. He's made a couple more. I want to check those out. We've got some other things to go over. Apparently, Obama isn't supporting Harris. So that's a big deal. We could talk about that. Katie did clip our show the other day. So we're big time. Katie's clipping us. That's pretty good. And of course, it's about us giving Eric July shit when he says he doesn't block customers. But I don't think I'm going to EFAT my own video. But either way, yeah, my dogs, they know how to start the show out, low watermark. Yeah, just start yapping. What do we got here? We've got Ben. How you doing, Ben? Julio. Ben, you type like a maniac. Holy shit. Low watermark. Andrew Campbell. What's up, Andrew? Grim Jim, how are you, sir? Bob and KC, good to see you here. I'm glad to see you, man. You bring the chat to a level that's it can't be compromised by any other show. And I know you're on Ethan's show all the time, but you're better on my show. So I'm going to just take that one. How you doing, Too White? Good to see you. So we got Jim here. I did invite Low Watermark, but I think he might just want to hang out in the chat tonight. I invited Julio. He might just want to hang out in the chat tonight too. So that's fine. If they do want to join, they have the link. If anybody else out there like Jim or Andrew, you're probably working. You're probably working, but Andrew, if you wanted to join, you're free to join. Jim, how are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. I was just kind of listening to this delusional retard speak. I mean, our president.
Is he on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. If you want to watch him, we could watch him on either Tim Pool's channel or Steven Crowder's channel, or I could find him somewhere else.
Isn't he on C-SPAN or something?
He's on C somewhere. Cunt span somewhere. I don't know.
What is it? What's up, Sky Abyss? Sky Abyss with the new Avatar. I like that a lot, man. I really like that. Film, games, and is that computers? That's what you're into. So I ordered that PC last night, Jim, from Alexander PCs, whatever, right? They emailed me today, and they go, "Oh, by the way, you get to pick the color of your cables, for all your routing of your cables." And they send me an email, Jim, and it's 75 choices of colors to pick.
Oh,
Holy
Jesus.
shit. It was very hard to make a decision. So either way,
You didn't tell him you wanted them in rainbow colors to, represent pride?
Oh, dude, I got the brightest fucking color you could get because I think they look cool inside those lighted PCs, those LEDs with the PCs. So either way, it's going to take 10 to 12. Even though they said it was ready, it's going to take 10 to 12 days for it to ship. It's like, what the fuck? Low watermark.
You didn't tell them you already gave a kidney. You ain't doing any more. They're not coming in your house.
Well, apparently the chat said, Low Watermark, thank you for the 10 gifted memberships. Wow. Thank you, Low Watermark. I almost called you your real name, but thank you so much, sir. Low Watermark goes on the board again, Jim. So apparently this Alexander PCs is veteran owned. So that's pretty cool. And they have a lifetime warranty as well.
Well, yeah. Alexander was a veteran of many wars. He, conquered almost all of the known world, Egypt and everything, and then he died from being poisoned.
Everyone laugh at the funny joke. Ha ha!
I got that one lined up for you, Jim.
I deserve it.
We'll see. We'll see what it is when it gets. I gotta get it off the floor though, man, because I got animals. And we did clean that drain out, Jim, and it was caked with dirt. So my son took a picture when I was at work today. He goes, yeah. It was easy though. You just open the window and
you open the window. You go from the inside, open the window, you just clear space, clean them out, and do. So I think you're supposed to do it like every year, but
Oh yeah, right. Yeah. It's like doing your septic tank every 2 years, right? Yeah. No, I mean, my landlord at my last house did it every fucking year, and the septic service was like, "What the fuck, dude? Why you keep calling us out here every year? This is ridiculous. We don't need to be here every year." So Biden just barely made it through the exit speech. So we got ID Crisis. How you doing, buddy?
I'm okay. I wonder if this speech was recorded.
You think you're okay?
Yeah, I think I am. I came on here and I heard you talking about a septic system, and that automatically sent me into a PTSD over the system that I've got. I learned so much more about how a septic system works.
Yeah.
The crap that you have to go through with the township, the sewage enforcement officer, and this is a 100-year-old house. And it really did come down to a who you know. And I got to say, the whole experience wasn't terrible. I got a customer out of it.
So
you're in
trucking
company. What's that?
Are you in town?
In town. Oh, I'm home.
No, I'm saying your house. Is it in the city limits or is it
Of what
just
city?
part of a township?
Any city. We don't.
Oh
it's
yeah,
not
yeah,
no
yeah.
matter
No,
where.
yeah. It's not. It's odd because everywhere around me is on sewage.
On city
But
sewer.
yes, but the this set of streets right around here, and it's right close to a trail that used to be a railroad. This entitled what it's called a coal patch. This set of houses was built around a coal mine, and the people that worked the coal mine lived in the houses. So one street down is shift manager houses, and then the next street down is bigger manager. So the further down the hill you go, the bigger the houses are, and at the very end of that street is the entrance to a mine that's no longer used.
Did you check to make sure you're not paying for city sewer? Because a lot of times they'll do that. You'll be like,
I
wait,
did. The amount of research I did, oh, you wouldn't believe. And it's like, do you a cement tank, poly tank? Is the entire thing gone, or is it just the lid that's collapsed? And I had put a deck over this thing like 3 years previously. So the guy that came in
over your tank.
Yeah, exactly. So the guy, I have some video and stuff of it, but the guy that brought it in was an absolute surgeon with the backhoe, and he was a friend. He's actually related to one of my customers, and so now I'm doing graphic work for him now for his trucking company. So it turned out okay, and like he comes in, he pulls this thing just real quick. He pulls it in poly tank on the back of his truck, and it's this like really nice looking turquoise. And I said to him, I'm going to show this picture to my wife, and the first thing she's going to say is, oh, what a pretty color. Right? Like it's a nice Tiffany blue, and it probably cost that much. Yeah, but shit's good now. Everything's good.
Well,
yeah.
How long ago did you put it in?
Dude, it's a year old.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Did they tell you how often you should get it serviced?
One this big?
In general,
for a while.
Okay.
Well, see, code changes. The one that we had was it was called a beer can style, so it was taller.
Mm-hmm.
And geez, I had to get that thing. But near the end, I had them out here every 6 months.
Really?
Not for a long time, and a big reason for that is because the lid cracked and it was letting a lot of earth in.
Oh, yeah.
And so it was only near the end did I see those guys more often than I wanted to.
Because I thought if a septic tank is working correctly and you're adding the enzymes in it you're supposed to put in, that it's eating the stuff, and it's supposed to seep the
Right, the solid. This is so gross to talk about. The solids go to the bottom, the liquid comes up to the top, goes over the baffle, and then off into the leach field. Yeah. But the way that this thing was set up, I probably mentioned it before, but when you walk into my garage, there's a shower head. It's not connected to anything, but there's a shower head and a soap dish nailed to one of the rafters. Because, you came into the house, you rinsed yourself off, and then you went upstairs to dinner.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So it's got some history. All the houses around here do. And I am absolutely positive the next time somebody's septic tank goes tits up, they're going to come knocking on my door asking me what I did.
Right. Yeah. And I know it ain't cheap either.
No, but that's what I love having. Like the guy that put it in as a customer, because now I'm making all that money back.
Sure. Right.
Yeah.
That's what I did when I had to get my my sewer or my pump for my bottom floor pump went out to get a sump pump, but it's like a my toilet and all the water to push out from the
ejector
basement.
pump or gray water pump.
Yeah. But what do you have in it? Do you have a Pittsburgh toilet down there? That's what they call it here.
No, I've got a full bath with a shower and all that stuff, and a full kitchen. So that pump went out and it fucking flooded. I mean, the basement big time. So the guy comes out and fixes it. I got to pay him whatever he wants, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I sell sewer cameras, and I said, well,
Oh,
I got
you
a sewer.
do.
Yeah, I said, I got a sewer camera for sale if you want to buy it because he's a plumber. He goes,
Mhm.
yeah. So
Wow.
I gave him 3. He paid me $6,800, and we're all good.
Don't you love it?
Yeah.
I know.
Hey, Julio, thank you for the 10. This is for Jim's windowsill consulting business. He's a savior. We'll see the next time it rains if my basement floods again. And Jin Wong for $2 Australian says, just wondering, are these dry toilet systems? Are there dry toilet systems?
Well, chemical.
Yeah,
but
there's
not
chemical,
dry.
right? Not dry. Yeah. All right. All right, Jim. Let's see what your fearless president has to. Oh my God! Look at that face.
Yeah, I don't know if this is recorded AI. I don't know. It looks weird.
He looks like a mannequin.
Oh, this is the the speech.
My fellow Americans, I'm speaking to you tonight from behind the resolute desk in the Oval Office. In this sacred space, I'm surrounded by portraits of extraordinary American presidents.
The sound is
Thomas
way
Jefferson
the fuck off, too.
Wrote the immortal words that guide this nation. George Washington, who showed us presidents are not kings. Abraham Lincoln, who implored us to reject malice. Franklin Roosevelt, who inspired us to reject fear. I revere this office, but I love my country more. It's been the honor of my life to serve as your president. But in the defense of democracy, which is at stake, I think it's more important than any title. I draw strength and I find joy in working for the American people. But this sacred task of perfecting our union is not about me. It's about you, your families, your futures. It's about we, the people. We can never forget that. And I never have. I've made it clear that I believe America is at an inflection point. One of those rare moments in history when the decisions we make now will determine our fate of our nation and the world for decades to come. America's going to have to choose between moving forward or backward, between hope and hate, between unity and division. We have to decide, do we still believe in honesty, decency, respect, freedom, justice, and democracy? In this moment, we can see those we disagree with not as enemies, but as fellow Americans. Can we do that? Does character in public life still matter? I believe I know the answer to these questions because I know you, the American people. And I know this, we are a great nation because we are good people. When you elected me to this office, I promised to always level with you, to tell you the truth.
Is he going to start? I just want to know, Jim, is he going to start telling the truth? Because I haven't heard any truth yet.
And those of us who cherish that cause, cherish it so much, a cause of American democracy itself, must unite to protect it. You know, in recent weeks, it's become clear to me that I need to unite my party in this critical endeavor. I believe my record as president, my leadership in the world, my vision for America's future, all merited a second term. But nothing can come in the way of saving our democracy. That includes personal ambition. So I've decided the best way forward is to pass the torch to a new generation. That's the best way to unite our nation. You know, there is a time and a place for long years of experience.
Yeah, I just want to point out that Barack Obama is younger than Kamala Harris, and he was already president.
Yeah, I know.
Man, he's really great too. I mean, I know the office.
But so the whole thing about passing it to a new generation, it was already at that generation.
Yeah.
And it fucking destroyed the country. Yeah.
In public life.
Is it just me? I'm sorry. Is it just me, or does his head, his left side of his head look misshapen? I mean, he's. I'm looking at it, and it's bad lighting, or he's turning into parallax.
Yeah, something's going on.
Okay, it's not just me.
It's not just you.
I keep staring at it.
Yeah, Obama's younger than Kamala.
Yeah. Oh, and anytime you want to, wait until after this. Somebody in the chat wanted to know what a Pittsburgh toilet was.
Okay.
So yeah, but after this, you could go ahead and share that.
For new voices, fresh voices, yes, younger voices. And that time and place is now. Over the next 6 months, I'll be focused on doing my job as president.
Oh, sure.
That
you
means
will.
I'll continue to lower costs for hardworking families, grow our economy.
Has he started yet?
I'll keep defending our personal.
What cost does the president control that he can just lower? Like, so is he saying he raised costs on us all?
Yeah. So
Because if he could just lower them, that means he must have raised them.
Well, yeah, he can by making sure that a bunch of student loans are paid off and trickle down to us three and everybody in chat.
Oh, like
Not
that
everybody in
pig,
chat that's got a job.
like that
You're
pig we saw
retired,
last
Jim,
night.
so I don't know
That
how
was-
that shakes out for you. You're retired.
he
it
still
doesn't
pays
shake out well
taxes,
for me.
right? Jim, you still
Yeah,
pay
it doesn't-
taxes, right?
I still pay a lot of taxes.
No,
It
there
doesn't
it
shake
is.
out too well for me.
Yeah.
And he can't control the cost of food. The only way he can control that is by,
Stop printing money.
Well,
printing
he can influence it with a good, solid economic plan. But
money.
when was the last time one of those happened? That didn't even happen under. I mean, it started to happen under Trump, and then he got hoodwinked by COVID.
And he
you know,
spent the
money
fuck out of money,
machine-
dude.
Yeah.
Holy
Money
shit.
machine
Yep.
go burr, and then he went and continued it because why not?
The only way to control the costs, to get costs to be lower, like not just slow the increase, but to get them to actually get back to where they were or lower, would cause a disruption in this country like you wouldn't fucking
Yeah.
believe.
And
I know
Samba,
that's-
you're right. Him employing the voting for other party as a threat to democracy is the most divisive statement any president could make.
Yeah.
It
Then,
does.
well, our side should be saying things like, "Well, voting for the other side is a threat to our constitutional republic."
Mhm.
Yeah,
Since
not
that's
our
kinda what it
democracy,
is.
since we don't have a fucking democracy.
Yeah.
I wish people would
Yes.
quit saying that. We
Yeah,
don't
there's
live
an
in a
oppor-
democracy.
But so the irony is that he's saying he wants to save democracy by anointing a person who received 0 votes
Yeah, which
in
is the
either in
hallmark of
2020
democracy.
or now for president at all,
Right.
without a primary, and throwing away the primary votes that they rigged against Bobby Kennedy
Yeah.
so that he couldn't fucking compete. Yeah, that's not called democracy. That's called totalitarianism, fucking North Korea esque.
Communism. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it just me, or are we seeing the maturation of social media? The people who are voting for the first time grew up with Facebook, Twitter, etc.,
Mm-hmm.
and have been learning how to disseminate or they've been learning about how to deal with society, personalities, who's lying, who's telling the truth, all that stuff, while this has all been implemented. I mean, we're the front, everybody in here is the front line of Generation X. We had to do everything person to person, and then over the phone, and then through a cell phone, with the hit number 1 3 times to get the letter C, and then the iPhone. And we've all come up while this technology has been on the horizon and then ubiquitous throughout society.
Well, they just got caught on X trying to change 1984 Orwell out, the whole thing about Kamala being whatever the fuck her name is, being the border czar. So she was never border czar, and then people are like, "Wait, here's your story from 2021 saying she's the border czar."
That was Axios, right?
Yeah.
We never talked yesterday about the chick from Homeland Security resigning after she fucking gives her fucking speech or her testimony to Congress. Fucking weird, right?
Yeah,
Secret Service.
Yeah, Secret Service. Either way.
Well, Homeland Security is her boss, I think, isn't it?
Well, it just they thought she was going to be able to weather it because she's really friendly with Jill. That's why she got the job. She was on Biden's detail his whole 8 years.
Yeah,
and then went to guard Cheetos and Doritos, and then came back.
Right.
And
I think that this administration, especially in what we're finding out now is, especially since 2020 happened, and COVID, everybody is on the microscope. Everybody's looking. They saw what happened to their kids. They saw what happened to their family. They saw what happened to this election, and in social media is being used in a way that I don't think these people expected. I honestly don't. I mean, because
DC too right now, like all these fucking
they're
Capitol Police
fucking
are getting
starting shit on fire. They're fucking spray painting all the monuments. They graffitied on the Liberty Bell, or I don't actually. It's probably not the Liberty Bell. Whatever the recreation or whatever of the Liberty Bell, or maybe it is the Liberty Bell. I don't know. Is that
It's
still
the
in
Liberty
Philly,
Bell.
or do they?
It's in Philly.
Yeah, they've done all this shit, and I don't know.
They're like dragging police, though, right? They're just beating them down. Why aren't they fighting back?
I don't know.
It would be like the new. I mean, honestly, if I was president, I would tell the police, you're allowed to spank them. Just spank them until they cry, because really they're not that tough.
Right. I mean,
I don't think
Kevin
so.
Bacon says,
Oh, Jesus. What the hell's going on? I mean, what the hell is going on?
With a head shake.
what the hell is going on?
What the hell's going on?
Oh my God.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I
you,
told
Simply.
my kids that before. I can either punish you now, or I can wait until someone bigger than you or the police does it for me. At some point, you need to learn how to get your shit together. But whatever.
I just don't get why they're letting these people do this shit. That it's not good for America. I mean, who are they against here? Are they against Republicans on something right now? What are they even marching about? Or is it the Kamala thing?
It's the same Antifa people. They're involved in this Gaza protest. It's the same leftists. And somebody is reporting that they tracked all these phones that people come, like the same kind of track the phones with the shooter.
Sure.
Now has tracked like over 300 phones that were at Kamala's acceptance speech that are now doing all this shit, rioting.
Well, they went from Milwaukee to fucking DC.
Yep. Yeah,
who are they? Who are they?
They're all leftists. They're whole part of the.
I mean, but who's the they that's tracking the phones?
Some group. I don't know. They're part of the Heritage Foundation or something.
Okay,
they got some.
I'm down with that, because the government's not going to do it. That's the reason I was asking. Like, it's not going to be some arm of the DOJ that bothers to do that.
Right. Because I guess they can buy the information from Google, because it's for Google ads, so they can track where people are.
Thanks for letting.
Oh yeah, that's
where they're getting. It's like, how the fuck do you get it? No, it's because of Google ads. They don't get names. They just have like phone IDs with demographics.
So they're using like Google phone numbers to do this shit. So they think they're not.
Anytime Google ads tries to sell somebody a trans flag, it shows up on their data, shows up on their phone, and they over to
right?
No, I mean, I'm like, as an example. Are you having a bourbon tonight, Dave?
I don't know.
Okay.
I might.
I'm looking at my, I don't know.
Are you off tomorrow?
No, I mean, I'm not going to be on here forever. No.
Are you on days this week?
I'm still on the 12-hour days this week and next week. So
that's cool. So we can have you on more often.
Well, maybe it depends. There's a lot of stuff to do. I don't want to get.
You've got a lot of painting and shit to do, right?
Yeah. Things are coming to a head, and it's a whole other story. I don't want to take up your time with this thing. I'll. So
is organic fucking beer, Ben Togel. If bourbon is weak, you can shove your goddamn organic beer right up your Austrian.
I'll say the bourbon is not for a weak liquor. Here, I'll show. I'll probably. This is nice and peaty.
Mm-hmm.
I got it because the bottle was like a novelty. It's a Pittsburgh thing. This is the I don't know if you can see this, Bourbon of Champions. So that's going to be a little Pittsburgh. I'll put that. I'll put that over my ice sphere. And,
awesome.
I will toast to the chat. I'll toast to you two fine sirs. A good Wednesday evening to the both of you.
Thank you very much. Let's see. Let's Let's find out. Let's see what Kevin Baker has to say in this video.
Hey, check this out. Found the accent.
It's funny that Bacon's even got the accent going. Yeah, it's great. Has anybody seen the Twisters movie?
I heard it's good.
Yeah, I've heard it's terrible.
I heard it's good because of what's not in there. And any movie that has to do with the weather, you know they're going to throw in some kind of a global warming thing or whatever.
Oh, they didn't do it.
It's not there. No, it isn't. I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, I might go to the theater and see that then.
Because that's like one of my wife's favorite movies is Twister. And if that movie's actually good and I'll go see it, then great. So at date night.
Why won't you see it, Julio? If you heard it's good. I mean, you can't stop doing stuff you like because
you
don't agree with everything that Hollywood does.
I heard it's good. I don't know that it's good. I'll get back. If I see it before he does, I'll get back to you.
Oh, okay. So that 40X, that 40X is where your seats and shit move, right? You ever been to the theater that had the moving seats and shit, Jim? That
Mellow-Vision?
No, 40X. That shit will freak you out. Oh,
wasn't that wasn't that in Kentucky Fried Movie where the guy rubs his hair and squirts him with the thing? And
it's not quite that dramatic, but it's pretty cool. Let's hear your fearless leader.
Too,
this is probably the last time we'll ever see Joe Biden live again.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know what? At least Reagan was honest about it. Reagan knew what was wrong, and he spoke about his Alzheimer's, and the name of the speech was something Sunsets. Somebody's going to know this. But he was saying goodbye. And then the next we heard from him was
when he died.
2006.
So Pie Fighter says Twisters is all right. You just can't beat Bill Paxton. I mean, he was great.
Yeah.
And that's when he was kind of a nobody, right? That's when he was like kind of just
Bill Paxton
getting his feet wet, right?
I mean, he was in Aliens. In
fact, right. Yeah, right. Yeah.
When
but was this his first solo
Catherine
starring
Bigelow
role?
Directed Near Dark, and she was married to or heavily dating James Cameron. So if you've ever seen one of the greatest vampire movies ever, 1988 or 89, Near Dark, you'll notice a lot of the cast members from Aliens, Lance Henriksen, Bill Paxton, and the chick that played Vasquez. They all played vampires in this movie. It's really
the chick that
good.
played Vasquez was also in Terminator 2, the mom.
Yes, and she was and she was one of the cops also opposite Paxton in Predator 2.
Okay. Grim Jim agrees. Near Dark is a great film.
It is.
There's a good chance I've seen it, just haven't remembered. But you know what? I've got my handy dandy notebook, and I'll write it down because that's what I do. Is I spend my weekends watching what the. Oh, Jim, I did order Justified.
Oh, you did. Good for you. You won't regret it.
We're gonna do weekly reviews on episodes.
Oh shit! That's one way to get me back here. Yeah, damn.
Yeah, I've never seen the show.
So your only problem is going to be trying to only watch one episode at a time.
Well, and also Nick Searcy is so good in that, and then he moves on to other awesome stuff. He filmed that January 6th documentary too. Yeah. Well, I love you guys. You guys are great. Listening to good advice, buying stuff we tell you to.
Yeah.
Ready?
Yeah, I got to stop talking. I'm going to mute myself so you can play.
No, it's all right. Don't worry about it.
That's why you're here, bud.
Freedoms on our civil rights, from the right to voices. Yes, younger voices. And that time and place is now. Over the next 6 months, I'll be focused on doing my job as president. That means I'll continue to lower costs for hardworking families, grow our economy. I'll keep defending our personal freedoms and our civil rights, from the right to vote to the right to choose. I'll keep calling out hate and extremism
The right to
Make it clear
choose,
there
that's
is
already
no
been
place,
settled in
no
the
place in
Supreme Court,
America
dude. That's
for
not
political
something
violence,
that's up for debate
or
anymore,
any
Jim.
violence ever, period. I'm going to keep speaking out to protect our kids from gun violence. Our planet from climate crisis is the existential threat. And I will keep fighting for my cancer moonshot so we can end cancer as we know it, because we can do it. And I'm going to call for Supreme Court reform because this is critical to our democracy, Supreme Court reform. You know, I will keep working to ensure America remains strong and secure and the leader of the free world. I'm the first president in this century to report to the American people that the United States is not at war anywhere in the world.
That's an absolute fucking lie. Absolute fucking lie. We're involved in at least 3 wars right now.
All of this is just fantasy, and I seriously doubt whether he can tell the difference between that and in reality. He's reading off a teleprompter, and if he's lucid at all, he knows all he has to do is say some shit that the
This
base
isn't the
gonna-
Oval Office either. This is the set.
the
They have a
sound
set,
stage.
the sound
Yeah.
stage set up.
Yeah.
This is not the Oval Office. They have a sound stage set up. You can tell by the trees behind them.
Yeah, because
It's
those trees
not-
wouldn't be there.
Right. That's not the way that office looks.
Yeah, it's this is just chode for the base to guzzle. That's all.
So I would be willing to bet that this was pre-recorded and edited. And I've been looking. I don't know. I thought I saw at least one jump cut, but
Yeah.
We'll keep rallying a coalition of proud nations to stop Putin from taking over Ukraine and doing more damage. We'll keep NATO stronger, and I'll make it more powerful and more united than any time in all of our history. I'll keep doing the same for our allies in the Pacific. You know, when I came to
talking
office,
about, man,
the conventional wisdom was that China would inevitably surpass the United States. That's not the case anymore. And I'm going to keep working
Yeah, Ben.
to end
This
the
is
war
not
in
the
Gaza,
Oval Office.
bring home all the hostages, and bring peace and security to the Middle East and end this war. We're also working around the clock to bring home Americans being unjustly detained all around the world. You know, we've come so far since my inauguration.
what about all the ones unjustly
across the
detained?
White House lawn. That's about as far as you've come. Seriously.
dude, look at America, man. Look at the fucking state of the country. I've never felt poor. Like, it's crazy. I work as hard as I ever have, and it just, oof.
It's called it's the angle of repose, right? You're basically
Yes.
running to stand still.
I mean,
You know, it's how an
every
ant
2
lion-
weeks it's fucking $500 at the grocery store. It's just every
Dude.
fucking 2 weeks. It never fucking ends.
Something
Like,
I cannot
goddamn,
honestly like. Only a Ethan Van Sciver or a John Malin can afford to do a carnivore diet because carbs are so much cheaper.
I know, like you can't, like, if you want to eat healthy,
I
it's
know
so
I did.
expensive. But if
I
you want to
looked
eat
at a
junk
couple of
food,
steaks.
bring it on. But I tell you what,
I
though,
grabbed a couple of steaks
McDonald's
the
ain't-
other night, and I was like,
McDonald's
"How
ain't
did
no
you do
bargain
this?
anymore.
How do you do it for months? How do you do it for months?
I'll tell you what, though, if you
The
buy,
steaks, you know what I mean? Just steak after steak after steak. How do you do that?
well, if you buy like cheap steak and you have a sous vide,
Yeah, right.
and you
Sous vide,
sous vide
right.
it takes all that toughness away, and it's fantastic. You
Okay.
know,
That'll be the
we
thing.
buy a lot of the meat that's marked down because it's gonna getting ready to expire, Jim, and we buy it and just freeze it. Fuck it.
Yeah, there's
then-
a lot of like kind of like me. Well, you know, you're right. I'll grab the stuff that I would grab if I was going to jerky it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Ben Togel's got a good idea. I have the McDonald's pool party diet. He only eats what he gets free from the app.
I'll tell you what, man, McDonald's is expensive. I was there yesterday. It's like 2 fucking breakfast sandwiches were $9.
Yeah,
Fuck off,
and
man.
the chicks behind the counter aren't even hot. I mean, it's not like you're going into a Hooters, you know. And
I
that's
did find a place over here.
part
that
of the
has,
experience. I used to get
Has
when I
what?
was in high school.
breaded steak sandwiches. You know, like from like Rico Benny's.
Yeah.
And I found a place that has them. And it was pretty good. But it was $20 for one sandwich.
Fuck off, man. It's like, what are we
Yeah.
doing? Biden, this is your America, dude. This is your America. This is not anybody's trouble but yours.
If there's
pizzas
any
expensive.
doubt, if there's any doubt in anyone's mind that they're trying to ruin this place, it's I would want to slap somebody who thinks that this is all by accident. You can't make this many mistakes consecutively, like in a row, one after the other. You know,
right?
The mandates, the Afghan thing, all of it, the Inflation Reduction Act, which does the exact opposite. All this stuff, it's all on purpose.
Yeah, well,
I don't even get Uber Eats where I live, Grim Jim, so I can't even take advantage of that.
They can't fix us the way they want until they break us first.
The amount of times that I have heard the word demonic thrown around in the last year, you know, at first I was like, I don't know. I used to hear this in the 80s, but that's because I was living at home and we were going to a weird church.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not me. Like I keep hearing it over and over again. I mean, where people are chopping their body parts off, for God's sake.
Mm-hmm.
We're being asked to accept mental disorders on a daily basis and celebrate them for a month.
Do you hear of any of the stuff that Elon was saying to Jordan Peterson about that?
Yes, I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah, he's like,
until I heard that.
He said he's at war with them now.
Thank God.
He's going to.
And that's one of the great things about being on X now, is because the person
so Elon's going to destroy Jordan Peterson.
No, not Jordan Peterson. The woke mind virus. That's causing kids to sterilize themselves.
Yeah, did you hear that, Razor? Or did you hear that, Dave?
Mm-mm.
He was he was being interviewed by Jordan Peterson and was talking. He talked about how and this is smartest guy in the world, which I always say, being intelligent and being wise are two completely different things. That he got tricked into signing paperwork that caused so that his son could take hormone replacement,
puberty blockers,
puberty blockers,
sterile.
which are basically sterilization drugs. And the thing that he goes and the dead naming is a real thing because I used to have a son. That was something else.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, that was nuts. Elon is part of the problem, says Dan Blackroyd.
He was, now he isn't. I don't know, as long as he doesn't change his mind.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. That's one of the things. You got to get used to not putting your not idols, but your heroes on a pedestal. And
no one's blaming the kids. It's I actually think it's more of the school systems. Like all these.
It's coming from everywhere. It's coming from social media. It's coming from the school. It's coming from
right. They're putting it in Disney.
Media.
They're adding it into Disney shows. They're putting it into Blue's Clues, into the fucking Coco Melon, into everything. But what I'm saying is, like, if the major problem for Elon is that he was married to that chick Grimes or whatever, the singer, and so all these Hollywood music industry types send their kids to these elite boarding schools, and then
where it's even worse.
Well, right, and then all these kids end up like Megan Fox, not the one that's not the one that's on YouTube, the one from Transformers,
not the one we like.
Yeah, the ones from Transformers. All three of her kids are trans.
Isn't that weird? That's weird. Like they all didn't.
That's mathematically impossible.
Down, it's wrong. It's not. It's just.
But almost every Hollywood star has a trans kid now. It used to be 20, 30 years ago, it was having an adopted kid from Africa.
Has anybody bothered to look around at their house and their outlets and the way a ballpoint pen is put together, or their phone, or anything at all. And they're all over the place. Everywhere we're surrounded by a male part fitting into a female part perfectly for a purpose.
To
So that it can be held
produce
together.
energy, produce a product. Yes.
Or to hold something together like your house. It's
Yeah.
all over the place. There are billions of examples. This nut goes into this bolt that holds this thing together. And it's the
This
same way.
nail goes into this 2x4, which
Oh,
goes into the other 2x4.
And I mean, even like more perfectly fit, like your male and female quick disconnects for an airline, or your male and female USB cords, or your male and female. Every guy that does construction, that does plumbing, they know what male and female means, so that you don't have a leak in your house, so that your house doesn't come down, so that an entire skyscraper doesn't fall down, so that the electrical system, and there's things that fit into things perfectly for a purpose. And we've been inspired to do it this way because that's the way that we're supposed to fit together. And when we decide that we're not supposed to fit together that way, the entire society crumbles the same way that a large construction would crumble to the ground. It is foundationally incorrect. It can't stay up if we keep doing this.
Yeah.
Stop misgendering my toolbox.
Simply green. You're right. I like where your head is at. Nail it, screw it.
Yep.
Kinda for a purpose. Yeah, so you can produce something else that's going to nail and screw something else.
It's weird, like those things.
Yeah, I know, low water marks.
It's weird.
Like if only there was some kind of lubricant to help make that happen.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can make it through another couple minutes of this without me losing my shit.
Yeah.
And that day I told you, as I stood in that winter, we were stood in a winter of peril and a winter of possibilities. Peril and possibilities.
What the fuck is he talking
We're in the
about?
grip.
That's not what he said. He said we were looking for a winter of death and destruction. Remember?
Yes. Yes. What the fuck is he talking about?
With COVID, you don't get vaccinated, it's going to be a winter of death and destruction for all the unvaccinated. That's what he said. He never said fucking peril or fuck you.
Apparel, like
What
apparel.
we were in the grip of the worst pandemic in the century. The worst economic crisis since the Great Depression. The worst attack on our
That you
democracy
created
since the
and
Civil
fucking
War.
kept promoting and promoting
We
and
came
promoting.
together as Americans. And we got through it. We emerged stronger, more prosperous, and more secure.
In
Today,
spite
we
of
have the
his
strongest
policy.
economy in the world, creating nearly 16 million new jobs, a record.
Those are
Lies.
not new jobs. They were not
They're
new
people that
fucking
went back to
jobs.
work.
They
I
were
know.
jobs that people couldn't go to because you shut the fucking economy down, and then you opened it back up and they went back to work. Those are not
For 2
new fucking
years.
jobs.
Yeah, for 2 years.
And all the records and all the data shows that all the new jobs that have been created,
so bad.
more
It's so
than
stupid.
60% have gone to people that are not American citizens. So take with that what you will.
I could say that. I could say that the gas mileage on my pickup is amazing because I spent 90% of it on the highway and downhill. And I get to take credit for that because I didn't have to touch the gas. That motherfucker doesn't know how to drive.
Exactly.
I love that
Oh,
word.
God, I'm
Thank you.
so looking forward to this DNC convention. I hope Obama fucking throws a turd into the punch bowl and
You think they're
fucks
going
it
to
all
throw it?
up.
You think they're still going to have it?
Oh,
man.
they got to have it. They have to have. They're already kind of fucked because they're past the deadline in Iowa, Nevada, and Georgia. So there's going to be problems. And unless the Republicans are complete pussies, they're going to have to say, hey, guess what? The name on the ballot's the name on the fucking ballot.
The only people who are enjoying all of this are the print shops who have the contract to make more ballots with other names on them.
Well,
they're really going to have to step it up to get some,
sucker.
to get those people to be filling out all the ballots they've been filling out with Biden's name on them. So now they're like, fuck, we got to change it. Whose name's going to be on it? We have to hurry up because we don't have enough time.
Oh my God, I hadn't even thought of that. Is there enough time for them to cheat the way they did in 2020?
I don't know. And the only way they're going to be able to pull it off, they're going to have to pull off another mail-in ballot scam because a bunch of states said no. So what are they going to do? You know,
I don't know, man, but the Lord is good. I'm loving every minute of this.
Georgia, they ain't no mail-in ballots in Georgia now, or Texas.
Or boxes, right?
Well, the boxes got put back in Wisconsin, so who knows what's
I
going to happen
thought Zuckerberg
there.
was out though.
But the boxes are still there. But he was paying for people to collect ballots.
Well,
do
that's
ballot
my
harvesting.
point. Who's going to collect these in Wisconsin?
They'll find somebody to do it. They'll get money from somewhere, you know, probably.
That shit
maybe.
is so disgusting. It's and they call it a democracy. That's not a democracy when anybody can throw a card in a box and not have to show ID and say it's a real vote.
Act Blue has a thing saying any donations made will get matched 700%. How? Where's the money coming from?
Soros.
That's got to be illegal. It can't be right because someone is putting money and saying, "Oh, we're going to match it 700%. So if you give $10, we'll make it $80." And just you say you gave the 80. That's illegal. That's what they sent fucking Dinesh D'Souza to jail for.
I think that goes back to what ID was saying earlier. Like, who are they?
I don't know. Somebody's got to do something.
All
I got
those
pissed.
people
I was
that-
watching fucking Tim Pool the other night. They had Andrew Bailey on, the Attorney General of Missouri, who's suing Biden and doing all this stuff, and he shows them the shit going on with the Social Security, where the federal government is registering people to vote in all these states. And he's like, "Oh, I didn't know anything about this, motherfucker. You better get on it."
Andrew Bailey didn't know anything about it?
Yeah, I didn't know anything about this. What's going on? It's like, what the fuck?
Well,
Texas is going to get fucked, man. I have a bad feeling that there are hundreds of thousands of people every week getting registered to vote in Texas through Social Security. Well, gee, who would
that's
that
got to
be?
be the border. That's got to be the border thing.
right.
Yeah, it is.
There's no way,
But
there's no way.
where
it's
are
not.
those ballots going to go? Are those
But
illegals going to vote, or are they going to just scoop up all the ballots and put who they want in there?
But
I mean,
Jim, Social Security can't register you to vote. That's not
they
their
passed a
job.
federal law saying that any federal agency that comes in contact with a person can register them to vote.
What?
So it's motor voter on steroids.
Motor voter on steroids. Yeah, it's Help America to Vote Act. It was part of something that passed in 2022 that nobody knew about.
I've never heard of this.
That's the news media not doing their job because they're biased. We'll pump this story up. We'll lay
Exactly,
this
Boston
story
Bob.
back. Everything that everybody is supposed to know about what's going on. We don't talk about everything that's going to get us ratings. We won't shut up about. And that's a shame too, because it's a 24-hour news cycle. Surely you should be able to put in something that matters to somebody somewhere.
And they put this poll out saying that Harris is beating Trump. It's a YouGov Ipsos poll that it's the same exact data that CNN used in their poll that has Trump up 3. So I don't know if you know who Robert Barris is. Bob, he does Rich Barris. He does People's Pundit.
Mm-mm.
He's a pollster.
Okay.
He pulled the data. He's like, this doesn't make any sense.
Oh,
It doesn't add
this
up.
is such an exciting time for a father whose daughter is starting college in the fall, majoring in statistics.
Yeah, like they oversampled Democrats by 10. All
I know,
right.
Listen,
by
honey,
10%, they
let me give you
undersampled
that ethics
independents.
class.
And then they go, "Oh, Kamala's leading by 2." It's like, well, if you sampled 600 Democrats, 500 Republicans, and 400 independents, of course your methodology's all fucked. Because that's not the way it breaks down. There's more independents than Republicans or Democrats.
Dude, I can't believe
Man.
anybody said they'd vote for Kamala Harris. Nobody did in 2020. I just don't understand what's changed, what she's done in 4 years to prove she's any better than she was then. She's wackier. She's fucking weird, man.
It's
I
the
don't know.
IQ drain of the company, of the country. Country's getting dumber. So
Yeah,
That's
statistics are for losers anyway, man.
Yeah,
They
I
can-
think what's
Whoa,
happening.
hold on
They,
a second.
no,
My
they
daughter's
can
majoring in
manipulate them to their
statistics.
side any way they
No.
want. They can manipulate the stats to fit their narrative.
They
any way
can,
they
but
want.
statistics are what you can use to actually just to come up with shit. Like you could prove things with statistics. You could show what
Yeah,
can
but you
happen.
can do it
Like,
for both sides.
well, yeah, you
right.
can.
And
It can be manipulated, but if you actually look at the numbers and dig down on the data, you can see what the facts are.
And then,
Yeah,
and then,
that's,
and then
that's one out of every
there
1
is-
million people that do that. The other 999,000 say, well, I guess that's the truth.
Yeah, anytime they tell you a percentage, it's because they don't want you to know that that number is actually like 3. When they go,
Right, I know.
80% increase, it's like, wait, 80%? What do you mean? What? Oh,
I'm,
3.
I'm not saying that it's a foolproof plan. Of course, we've got shitty lawyers. Of every politician is a piece of shit. Although Thomas Massey is
No, we
somebody who
need
actually knows how to do
Thomas
stuff.
Massey's fantastic. So
He's
is
one of
Mike
the-
Lee.
He's one of the good ones. Yeah, and,
Rand Paul.
and there's a handful. But like talking to my daughter, I'm like, well, she's going into statistics, and we're talking about like the data and the numbers tell a story. The way that Chris Bacon will tell a story
sure.
with Eric July's numbers, and that there's no refuting it. And there is an ethics class, and every every statistics major has to take an ethics class. In other words, you can't be biased. And
You're
I
not
am
supposed to.
hoping beyond all hope that I have rubbed off on her enough to where she won't want to embarrass me by just working for some
Hopefully
place
she'll
that's
go
going
into
like,
sports statistics because those are pretty easy. Like,
I know. I
just-
tried to get her to like, we should watch Moneyball.
Well,
Yeah,
actuaries are statisticians that actually do the job correctly because
Right.
money depends on it.
Yeah,
So if
right.
you fuck around. You
Right.
can't, you know what I mean? They that's how come insurance companies can
Right.
say,
yeah,
no,
they're
you
not
have
doing,
to pay
they're
this
not doing
because we're-
polls for the fucking president to manipulate CNN
No.
to give them the right numbers or Fox to
It's-
give them the right numbers.
Well, so like what Simply Green is saying, the statistics are only as good, and something like polling, they're only as good as the data source.
Well, polling is like that's what I'm saying. Like this guy, I don't know, it's called the People's Pundit. He's on like locals and YouTube and stuff. His name's Richard Barris, I think he is. He's been around for years doing this stuff, but he breaks down like the actual goes into the polls and says, no, they weighted this way for this reason, and that's where they came up with this. And I mean, he's not perfect, but he's decent. But what I'm saying is, they can change it. They can take a poll. Like there's only like a few companies actually doing the surveys right now. That YouGov Ipsos is like one of the major ones that's doing surveys online, and like 7 or 8 different polling companies use that same data. They just cherry pick out of there what they want to use for their polls.
Sure.
The different pieces, you know, they don't use it all, and like so it's strange. But yeah, this last one, like I said, it was like 600 Democrats polled, 500 Republicans, and 400 independents. It's like, well, that's not the proper makeup of the country.
Right.
You know, Democrats
I
and
do
Republicans
know-
are always right around 28 to 31% of the country,
Yeah.
depending on when it is, but never more than that. You know, and independents are always more than either of them.
Well, to Ben Togel's point, where he says Soros is behind all this, I think Soros is actually wiser by not letting his kid get involved in drugs and then handing the baton off to him before he gets to this point that Joe is at. And if anybody's curious about how it is that Kamala Harris is going to win this thing, if you want to share my screen, I'll tell you exactly what her plan is. That's how she's going to do it. It's going to take a long time, but I think if she sticks to it 24/7, she can probably win a few people over.
I think that they are.
I don't think so.
A lot of people are convinced that this was an unwinnable election because of the way everything is going, and that's why a lot of people said, "Fine, Kamala, go ahead." And like Gavin Newsom's like, "No, I'll wait till 28." You know, Whitmer and Gretchen or Hochul are like, "No, we're cool." Pritzker. So it's just her, and
Right.
if you look at who she's talking about to be
Thanks,
her
Grim.
VP, they're not people who would ever have a shot at being president. You know, like Kelly from fucking Arizona or Shapiro from Pennsylvania or guy
that
Andy
scared the
Bashir
hell out
from
of me.
Kentucky. You know,
Wasn't
it's
Kelly
like
the guy that was married to?
she's married to Gabby Giffords, yeah, the astronaut dude, and he's
Yeah.
basically a walking rock.
Well, and she was shot, so he'll have the anti-2A platform.
Here you go,
Jumping,
Jim.
screaming.
Here you go.
So you recommend his food, right?
Yes, sir. You care about my
Yes, go ahead, go ahead.
Lord, I pray, Lord, in the name of Jesus. I pray, God, that you just help him in this presidency.
Pretty cool, right?
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
But that's what I think. And like Obama, it's being reported all over. Obama's not getting behind Kamala because he doesn't think she has a chance. He thinks there has to be he probably wants a Oprah or somebody or like a crazy can, or who knows? Maybe he wants his wife to do it. I don't know. What?
Who, Obama?
Yeah.
No, he probably wants Newsom to do it. He thinks Newsom's a slick Rick like he is. He's got some charm.
I don't know. We'll see what happens. I just don't see, unless there's serious shenanigans, I don't see.
He reminds me of that dude from Arrested Development. David, what's his face?
Cross?
No. It looks just like him.
David Duchovny?
No. Is it? It's not Dave. Who is it? Will Arnett. Will Arnett. He looks exactly and sounds exactly like Will Arnett.
Well, you know who Soros' son? That's what I forgot. Soros' son is engaged to fucking Uma Abedin.
Yeah.
Wiener's
ex-wife. Jeez. I mean, how much more incestuous can you get?
But I thought,
what do you think that sounded like? Will you marry me? And she's like, will you get online and show your junk to everybody? No. Okay, yes.
And he should have responded, will you keep sleeping with Hillary?
Yeah.
See, I thought that guy, Alexander Soros, whatever, the kid, he looks pretty young.
I know it's going to go on for a while, but this is part of that passing the baton thing.
But Uma Abedin has got to be in her late 50s.
Yeah.
And he looks like he's like 30.
I know, but it's there. She's drinking the adronium. What is it?
Adrenochrome.
Yeah.
He could be older, Jim. He
could be and just look young, but he looks young.
It's right to the target. It's adrenochrome, not a chromadrene or a whatever.
Yeah. If someone told me he was in college, I would believe it. That's how young he looks.
Sucking the life force out of him. That's what it is.
That's how young Julio looks.
Oh.
Wages are up. Inflation continues to come down. The racial wealth gap is the lowest it's been in 20 years. We're literally rebuilding our entire nation, urban, suburban, rural, and tribal communities. Manufacturing has come back to America.
What?
We're leading the world again in chips and science and innovation.
That's a lie.
There hasn't been a single fucking chip built in the United States. That plant won't come on.
He's just saying stuff. He knows none of this. He can't know any of this is true. This is just he can show it to his grandkids, or it'll be.
Did they even break ground yet on that plant in fucking Michigan?
I don't think so. Isn't it like 2030 something it's supposed to come out?
Yeah.
Microchips are made in Taiwan. That's why we are worried about.
The first thing he did was kill the XL pipeline.
Yep, like the day he walked in.
Yeah. And that's gonna lead to what kind of manufacturing? Hey, yeah. The first thing I did when I got into office was kill jobs. I just poured salt all over the soil of employment. Romans.
We finally beat Big Pharma after all these years.
They beat Big Pharma by giving them immunity and fucking billions upon billions, over probably close to $1 trillion in government contracts for shit that expired they had to throw away.
I really don't understand his animosity towards the pharmaceutical industry that he is relying on literally just to get through this fucking speech.
Brilliant. It's true.
To lower the cost of prescription drugs for seniors. And I'm going to keep fighting to make sure we lower the cost for everyone, not just seniors. More people have health.
Does anyone actually think that anything in healthcare has gotten cheaper in the past decade?
No.
Depends on who you are. If you have to work for a living, no. If you don't, yeah.
Yeah.
And I work.
I mean, even I can tell the health insurance that I have at the job that I have does not even feel remotely the same as it did 10 years ago.
Deductibles are way up. Yeah.
It just cost me $109 to get fucking fish oil pills with my insurance.
Really? Like good ones? Because I mean, that sounds like a grocery store. Like,
why
you mean
like prescription fish oil pills? Can't you just go to fucking Walmart?
I don't know, because it's what the doctor fucking prescribed me.
Well, say like for instance,
doctor's a dick.
These glasses would have been paid for entirely through my work. last year when I went to I went to get the exam and everything like that, I could only afford to have the lenses replaced, not the frames.
There's no money in being a doctor anymore because everybody's on Medicaid.
Part of it.
Medicaid
But it's
pays
those
12% as
things.
opposed to-
It's those things that you notice where you're like, I was here and this happened 2 years ago, and now I'm here 2 years later, and it's just a different deal.
That's
Sure.
because there's no money in being a doctor.
Oh,
So
remember
I'm
that test
getting
I
in-
had to take, Dave? The sleep study thing where I had to wear that
Yeah.
thing at night? All right. So they told me, well, your insurance doesn't want to pay for getting it done in the lab, you know, at the sleep lab or whatever. So you do it at home. And they told me it was going to be a $10 copay for me to take the machine home and wear it at home. Okay. I got a bill for $120. Oh, your insurance, no, it's 120 you got to pay, not 10.
Well,
If you would have got it done in the lab, it would have only been the 10.
And I think like
What?
to what
Yeah.
Julio is saying that there's no money in being a doctor if you're being paid through Medicaid or Medicare.
Medicaid is worse.
Medicaid because they don't pay their bills. Am I
There's
off?
no
Am I
bills
off
to
on
pay.
that?
You can't.
That's what I've
bill
been hearing.
Medicaid patients. That's
And it's still, we
people
looked it
coming
up the
across
other
the
night.
border. They get, believe me, I know this. They get enrolled in Medicaid immediately.
Right.
They go to federally qualified healthcare clinics or rural healthcare clinics, and they have, I swear, like 7, 8 babies.
Mhm.
Yep.
Don't pay anything for it. So who's paying for that? There's no
Me
money
and
in
you.
like I said, there's
We
no money.
are.
You can't be Dr.
Yeah.
Hardy from General Hospital.
We're spending every year right now. We're spending for Medicare and Medicaid. Just Medicare and Medicaid costs the government spending out $1.7 trillion a year, just on Medicare and Medicaid.
Yep. And figuring out the healthcare revenue cycle and getting claims paid, it's like fucking Chinese arithmetic. It's
Yeah,
too
and
fucking complicated. It's like the
Social
IRS.
Security is
And
1.6
that's part of
trillion.
what makes it so expensive too, because you have to pay all the people to figure out this giant math problem and do the paperwork and send it off. And I
Right.
mean,
Well, that's
can you imagine
why when
just
the government takes over anything, it's a fucking clusterfuck.
yeah, just the bill on paper alone before it gets printed on it has to be massive.
And like Jim said, you get sent a bill, and most people don't know how the fuck to look at the EOB or how it's been.
Yeah.
I mean, normally you could call your insurance and go, "What the fuck?" You know, you can argue with them, but people don't know that. They don't have time to do that.
And it's
No,
hard
I
it's
don't.
hard to fight with Obamacare because there's only one option for insurance. So it's not even like you can say, well, fuck you, I'm going to go to another carrier. They're like, you can't. There's only one in Illinois. There's only one choice in Illinois. So good luck. So you asked me if I'm going to drink. That's what I'm going to drink.
The
Heidi
jury.
Price.
Yeah.
High and Wicked.
What is that?
It's a 15
High-
year.
What is it? It says high what? H
High
high
and
N?
Wicked.
High
High
and wicked.
and Wicked. Yep. It's
Wow.
15 year.
Just high end wicked. So that's
Yeah.
High and wicked. Yeah.
It's
I imagine if it was on one line, it would just be like high and wicked, but they've got it in that circular graphic, so it kind of throws off your visual acuity there.
it looks.
Oh, I
cool.
thought it was saying like high end wicked.
Yeah. But
Well, yeah, you know what I mean. Like it's like an
Look how
and or
dark
like
that
an
is,
ampersand.
though.
Like
Look at-
it's their version of an ampersand.
look how
I like
dark
it though.
that is.
I like that that black and silver label.
Yeah.
And that's
it's-
not too
it's-
transparent too, man. That's kind of muddy.
Oh, dude, it's age 15 years. So
Yeah, I can't see through it.
exactly. And it's 104 proof. So
Get off. Really?
Down
Yeah.
the hatch.
All right. Well, I guess we know what to expect.
no, I'm not drinking much.
Okay. Me neither.
I didn't think it was going to be this difficult to get through fucking this speech.
Oh, why would you think that?
I know.
I
I'm
don't
sorry.
know.
I'm muted. I'm
No,
gonna mute.
I'm not talking about you, ID Crisis.
He keeps saying dumb shit.
No, I know.
And it's
Believe
like
me.
you have to
Jim
call him
pauses
out
it because
again.
he's pissed. Jim's going,
Yeah,
what the fuck are you talking about? Jobs created. What the hell are
All
you
right,
talking
he's running out
about?
of steam.
Healthcare today in America than ever before. And I signed one of the most significant laws helping millions of veterans and their families who are exposed to toxic materials.
Wow, look at him
You
shake.
know, most significant climate law
He's got
ever,
Parkinson's.
ever in the
Most-
history of the world. the first major gun safety law in 30 years.
Fuck you.
Today, the violent crime rate is at a 50-year low.
Fuck
We're also
off.
securing our border. Border crossings are lower today than when the previous administration left office.
What the
I
fuck did
kept
he
my
just say,
commitment
Jim?
to appoint the first black woman to the Supreme Court of the United States.
The first black woman who doesn't know what a woman is. So basically, you nominated the first black. And that's not true because the last time there was wait, who was no, Clarence Thomas. You kept asking him dumb, stupid questions. He nominated
that guy
a
through the
black woman
mud.
to the court who wouldn't say she herself doesn't know what a woman is.
She's not a
wouldn't answer the
biologist.
question.
I'm telling you, we're about to tear a hole in the space-time continuum if we keep listening.
That's what Theory Thursdays are about, because we're living in a fucking matrix, dude. This can't be
That's
real.
right. I also kept my commitment to have an administration that looks like America and be a president for all America.
Oh, so they mean to crawl the cross-dressers and the people stealing the luggage. Yeah, okay. And the guy that was the intern guy with the phone. Hey. That's America.
All
That's what America
Americans,
looks like.
including the
American.
people who come right in. Okay. All Americans.
Yeah. Why doesn't he have an illegal alien on his?
Yeah.
fucking,
Why does he have like 15% of his administration should be illegal aliens?
Yeah.
That's what I've done. I ran for president 4 years ago because I believed and still do that the soul of America was at stake.
Mm-hmm.
The very nature of who we are was at stake. And that's still the case.
Mm.
America's an idea. An idea stronger than any army, bigger than any ocean, more powerful than any dictator or tyrant. It's the most powerful idea in the history of the world. That idea is that we hold these truths to be self-evident.
Sounds like the lyrics
We're all
to
created
Yep
equal.
Rock, Peaches and
Endowed by our Creator with certain inalienable rights, life, liberty, pursuit of happiness. We've never fully lived up to it, to this sacred idea.
Not funded
We've
by the
never walked
federal
away from it
government,
either.
though. I mean, that's not
And I do not believe the
we're supposed to be able to do
American
this on
people
our
walk away
own.
from it now. In just a few months, the American people will choose the course of America's future. I made my choice. I've made my views known. I'd like to thank our great Vice President Kamala Harris. She's experienced, she's tough, she's capable. She's been an
Of
incredible
what?
partner to me and a leader for our country.
Smoking chode, man, because she's
Now
really
the choice is up to you, the American people. When
No.
you make that choice,
It's
remember
up to
the
the
words of Benjamin
Democratic
Franklin
National
that's hanging
Convention,
on my
Jim,
wall
right?
here in
It's
the
up to
Oval
them.
Office. Alongside the busts of Dr. King and Rosa Parks and Cesar Chavez. When Ben Franklin was asked, as he
Am I incorrect, or Kamala Harris is the VP because they needed to be able to keep the money that was raised for his campaign?
I don't even know if that's legal, what they did.
No, probably not, but they definitely it's easier to claim she raised that much money in 24 hours when all they did was move it from his pile to her pile versus being able to move the money from his pile to Gavin Newsom's pile, and then everybody would be like, what?
They couldn't do it to anyone else's, but even going
Right.
from him to her, there's a problem because they're general election funds that were raised for a general election for Joe Biden.
Okay.
And there's a rule that if you do not run in a general election, the money has to be refunded.
Okay. To who?
To
The
who
donator.
donated it.
To each individual.
Who donated it? Whoever
Yeah.
donated the money, it's got to go back. They're supposed to have all these records.
There's a
to know
record.
Who donated the money?
Right. So all they need to do is contact those donors who are all in on the game and say, this is where your
No, they
money's
have to.
being
No, they
used.
have to redonate to her, dude.
They have to
So
send
it
them-
literally
actual
has to
motion.
go. There's no like just sign
No.
here on the dotted
No, they would have
line.
to. It would have to go back and then get redonated.
Wow.
It's like if you get, if you buy something with American Express card and you buy it at Best Buy for the same price, they
Yeah.
have to refund you the money, and then you have to go to Best Buy and buy
Okay.
it. Okay, so
capitalism at its finest, right?
Right.
And so that, but we know that didn't happen.
And if you don't have an American Express card, get one. They don't fuck around with refunds, dude. You tell them they fucked you over, that money's in your account in 2 minutes, and they don't even ask questions. And they make that store prove that you are wrong. And guess what never happens? The store never says you did anything wrong. I've never had one thing come back on me, Jim. Have you? With American Express?
No, I've had shit that I bought 2 years later. It stopped working, and contacted
When you
American
call that
Express.
toll-free number, they answer on the first fucking ring,
And they go,
and it is
"Oh,
so
okay,
pleasant. Yeah, they know your name. It's unbelievable experience.
No shit.
Mhm.
Now, of course, this is the card where you don't want to maintain a balance at all.
You can.
You can, but it's no different than any other card. If you're gonna pay the goofy fucking 15% or 17% interest on it.
Yeah, but like they have unlimited cards too, right? So the unlimited card, I mean, I'm gonna spend 20K. They don't give a fuck. Go ahead, spend 20K.
I'll have to ask you about this at length at a different time. This is intriguing.
It's worth your time.
Emerge from the
because they have really good rewards too, Jim.
The convention going on. Whether the founders have given America a monarchy or republic, Franklin's response was a republic, if you can keep it. A republic, if you can keep it.
Wait, I thought he's been saying a democracy. So which is it, a republic or a democracy?
I don't know. Like if we can keep it, that's what we're trying to do. That's what we're trying to do.
Elemental, we're talking about American Express, though, buddy. We're not talking about other cards. We're talking about American Express.
And it all depends on your credit score. If you got a credit score above 800, you ain't paying 30% on a credit card.
Oh, cool, man. I'm all about it now.
Yep.
Whether we keep our republic is now in your hands. My fellow Americans, it's been the privilege of my life.
Who's we? It's like you're putting Americans against Americans, Julio, here. Like, we're the good Americans. Those are the bad Americans. That's a terrible message to the country.
When he uses words like we, I can tell he's trying to smell me.
President of the United States.
Right.
But here I am. That's what's so special about America. We're a nation of promise and possibilities.
We're a nation of fraudulent votes.
Of ordinary Americans doing extraordinary things. I've given my heart and my soul to our nation.
How many times did he run, Jim? 4 times before he finally got in?
1,000,000 times in return.
It was the
The
80s.
love and support of the American people. I hope you have some idea how grateful I am to all of you.
Yeah, we know.
The great thing about America is here, kings and dictators do not rule. The people do.
No.
History is in your hands. The power is in your hands.
Keep waiting for
The
him.
idea of America lies in your hands.
Except for it's not in their hands because you took it out of their hands because they voted for you after you rigged the primary, and now you just anointed this person that you say is going to get to be the nominee. And you talk to a bunch of people that didn't vote. They just horse traded and behind black smoke-filled doors.
And she claimed she was on the phone all day Monday to get those delegates that nobody knows happened. And then
Well,
she's in
worse than that,
Milwaukee.
he just said America's not ruled by kings, but he's acting like one.
Well,
the entire party.
He just picked his replacement.
Right.
That's what a king would do.
Yeah.
Right. And he is king for 4 years. There's no doubt the president is king. He does have a lot of power, a lot of fucking power. But if he respects the position, he's going to use all 3 parties to make it look legit to the best of his ability.
So, for instance, like the executive orders are only supposed to pertain to that third of the office. I mean, to that
it's only
third
supposed
of
to
the
be
government.
how to execute laws that are passed by the Congress. That's all the executive order is supposed to be. It's
right,
not supposed
exactly.
to be like,
so when he goes and tries to, and I am not even split on this, but when he goes and forgives student loan, regardless of what the court says, they say it's unconstitutional, you can't do that, and he does it anyway. Nobody stops him. The Congress doesn't stop him. The court can't stop him because it's just 9 people. There's a serious flaw there, don't you think?
Yeah, it's called impeachment. Get the fuck out.
I believe there was a guy named Jackson that said
probably have 3 branches.
Chief Justice has issued his order. Now let's see him enforce it.
Yeah.
So you can do that. Yeah. But
That's called that's being a dictator at that point.
Right, and that's what you should be impeached or whatever. But the thing is, like the whole thing with the student loan stuff, they were already programs that were in existence. The stuff that they did, like, and it was where you would have to apply. People would have to apply to get these loans forgiven.
Well, the guaranteed student loan is a bad idea, anyways. And I mean, my oldest daughter's really good at paperwork, which is probably why hers was forgiven. But I think most of I claim that my two oldest kids who had their loans forgiven because by way of their last name, the government probably thinks they're a little black kid from the 80s.
Is your last name Roosevelt?
Yeah.
Well, but with what I'm saying is like the ones that they were able to get to stick to go through were not what he tried to do when he just tried to say everybody's loans forgiven. That was like, no, you can't fucking do that.
Because my kids didn't get their shit forgiven.
It was anybody who was eligible to get their loan forgiven for an existing law doesn't have to apply to get it forgiven and fill out the paperwork. It was just automatically go look for any of these people who are eligible and just forgive their loans.
Yeah.
But this goes back to what I was saying about healthcare being too complicated. And the IRS, listen, if you sign a paper and get a loan, you should
owe the fucking money. Yes,
if you can't pay it back, and they give you $30,000, then we all should get fucking $30,000.
Yeah. No, definitely. I don't agree with
it hanging on the wall back there. The very last payment I had to make for my school loan.
So I mean, if you want to roll a loophole to get somebody in your family to not pay their fucking debt, well, I'm sitting here paying my debt. Fuck that.
This shit happened without me taking any steps.
Yeah, no, believe me, I agree. What I'm just saying that there was all these weird things for like teachers and doctors and police. Well, they had all these weird rules that they constantly passed
for teachers, like that they teach in a bad
public
area,
school or something, or a bad area.
In a bad area
so
for
many
4
years.
It was a trade off. But that's don't matter to me, dude. That's like joining the Navy and they give you a sign-on bonus. You know, that's fine. If they need teachers in low-income neighborhoods and that's the way they can draw some teachers in, God bless them. That's fine.
And that ends up going to when I had to teach because they were joking with me. Well, Biden forgave my student loan. I guess I'm voting for him. I'm like, so what you're telling me is that you have a price. Right. So what you're telling, that's basically what it came down to. And it was, and I'm quoting, they were kidding with me. They know what my stances are on stuff. And a lot of times they'll just tweak me. They'll try to tweak me up because they know how I feel about this stuff. But I'm like, yeah, sure. Go ahead. Let this person that you've never met in your life has screwed up your college graduation and your high school graduation beyond all get out because of his COVID policy. You let him know that you can be bought.
Yep.
I mean, I'm mostly pissed. I'm still pissed about what happened in 2008 when they bailed out all the banks.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then the banks got to keep all those got to keep all the properties.
And who's paying?
They shouldn't have got to keep the properties.
Who's paying for these people's student loans? Or these fuckers Medicaid? Or the banks? I am.
We are. Yeah.
I'm the asshole that's got a job. I'm not down there facing fucking monuments in DC and taking the Soros bus down there. I have to work.
Right. And for Trump to come in and say that you don't have to pay taxes on tips. Now that there is a genius move and he could take it a little bit further, it would be this. And personally, if you've got an 8-hour-a-day job that you're getting taxed on and you're doing anything on the side for yourself that's getting paid in cash, you don't get paid. You don't have to pay taxes on that either.
Well, first off, I've been in the service industry, so if you make tips, you don't declare everything you make on your tax.
That's a problem. That's not true, though.
And everybody knows.
First of all, he's trying to win Nevada.
You
think that will help in Nevada?
They're automatically charging people now. Like,
dude, my daughter cuts hair, and all tips go on credit cards, and they all get taxed.
A lot of them do. If I have cash, I will tip them cash because I know
it screws her out of her Medicaid for her because she's a single mom with a son. So her tip money gets counted as income, which is fake. It's not income because it's not an hourly rate. It goes with the flow. It's like super chats, right? It's like one day you make $50, one day you make $80, one day you make nothing. It's just the thing. But they're basing her ability to get funds.
What's their base rate now? Because it used to be when I was a waiter when I was 20, you made $2 an hour.
No, but she's a haircut.
Exactly. That's the point.
She's a haircut.
When you're in the service industry, and correct me if I'm wrong, minimum wage does not apply to a job that makes that much money in tips.
Used to be like that.
I think a lot of places they changed
I don't
it.
know if it is anymore. All I know is that I am consistently 20%.
I think in California they changed that, and a bunch of other states to where now it's you get paid the minimum wage, $15 or $20 or whatever it is.
Tips.
Plus tips. So, but
my point being though is that when Trump says something like that, he's speaking to everyone, because now everyone is the same color. They're not white, black, Hispanic, Chinese, or Asian of any kind of whatever. They're not Indian, God, or taxes on. They're all green. Everyone is the same color. Everyone's green. They all want to keep their money. All you have to do is say something like, "We're not taxing your tips."
Do you remember when there was no taxes on fucking eBay trades? That used to be a thing. You could sell on eBay and they didn't charge tax.
Right.
But what I mean got their fucking nose in it and they ruined eBay with all this shit. Like, that's secondhand. Like, if it's a secondhand product, why do I got to pay taxes on that? Okay. If it's a brand new product, like from an eBay store that's all new, okay, that's fine. But my wife's selling a doll made in Japan in 1942, and she's got to pay taxes. Fuck off. What are we doing?
The point is, though, that Trump is speaking to everyone when he's talking about money. He's not talking.
No, he's not.
Wait, hold on.
There's too many freeloaders that don't give a fuck.
He's not talking to the black vote or the inner city vote or whatever. He's talking to everybody. Money concerns everyone.
But they don't earn their money, dude. So they don't know where it comes from.
Who?
The people that get all their Medicaid, they get all their welfare, they get all that money. They're voters, dude. And that's another fucking problem.
No, I'm sorry. I guess maybe I'm not explaining myself right. When he's talking about not being taxed on tips, he's talking to people who have to do those jobs. And he's also talking to people who have done those jobs. I don't do that anymore, but I used to. So I can relate. If you've never done that before, have you ever been a busboy, waiter?
Me?
At all? Yeah.
Yeah, I worked at Golden Corral in high school.
You know what I mean?
Then I delivered pizzas for years and made pizza tip money. That shit was great. All that
you
under
remember
the table
that?
pizza money.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Did you worry about paying taxes on it? Because I remember I was told that I had to pay taxes on tips.
Claim 8% of what you actually make is what we used to do.
Right.
I never made a tip.
Right.
Matter of fact, even my pay was under the table at the end of the shift. So all the drivers got paid cash, and then we got our tips on top of it. So I'd work it was down in Fort Lauderdale, this place called Poppy's Pizza. I could work Friday, Saturday night and bring home about $500 in 2 nights in the 90s, dude. In the 90s, $500. And then I made like $1,000 a week working at the pizza shop at nights and on the weekend, and had a full-time day job. But I love the pizza job more because it was all tax-free fuck you money.
Yeah.
Oh man, I miss fuck you money. Jesus Christ.
Andrew Campbell.
I know they're gonna come find me after I say this, but I have my shoebox.
Andrew Campbell, it wasn't a revolution over tax on stamps. They were tax stamps. It was the stamps that got put on items, excise tax on tea and other products. And they just called them tax stamps because they have a lot of things that are called tax stamps because it's a stamp that says you paid the tax.
Yeah, for like a suppressor or a fully automatic.
Or bottled in bond whiskey.
Bottled whiskey.
Yeah, there you go. Right.
All that shit.
All right, let's see what this guy's going. I got something good after this.
Gonna wind it up.
We just have to keep the faith, and remember who we are. We're the United States of America. And there's simply nothing beyond our capacity when we do it together. So let's act together. Preserve
but you
our
just
democracy.
told us we're fucking terrible if we don't vote for your side.
May God protect.
I'm not motivated to help you fuckers out at all.
Why would God have to protect our troops if he said we're not at war with anyone?
Well,
that doesn't make sense.
God save the queen, man.
All right.
You mean it, man.
So this is a Rasmussen poll that just went, and I know we were talking about how shitty polls were.
Oh, Elemental, man. Back in the day, doing these pizza jobs at these small pizza joints that were popular. Holy fuck, you could make so much money
Mhm.
Oh God. And they'd order like 25 pies on a Friday night for a party. You show up, they give you $100 tip. You're like, fuck
Yeah.
yeah. Because they're all
When you poke
partying
your
and
head
shit.
inside the door, did you see a whole lot of fine bitches? Just, oh my God, pizza.
No, because I had 10 more pizzas in the car I got to get to, man.
Oh.
I mean, our cars were loaded. It was great.
You used to live in a good neighborhood.
It was a great neighborhood.
Good.
Yeah. I mean,
So anyway-
it was Fort Lauderdale, Florida, man.
You don't listen. You don't deliver to the house I have in the party you wish you were at.
Oh, dude, of course. I mean, but I just didn't have time to pay attention most of the time. You know, it's not, you know, you get those creepy people that say, hey, you want to come in? No, dude, I'm not coming in your fucking house. That ain't happening.
What's this, Jim?
Well,
Yeah, no
Rasmussen did
GPS, Andrew Campbell. Those were the days when remember when you could actually like go someplace one time and remember how to get there all the time? Now I can't go anywhere with that stupid fucking GPS on. It's made me dumber. My GPS on my phone has made me the dumbest driver in the world now. I don't remember where I've gone.
Having
anymore
numbers
at all.
programmed in your phone made us all dumber. We used to know everyone's phone number, have it memorized.
I still
Now-
remember my mother-in-law's phone number, and I've never called her once, ever. But my wife lived with her mom, so that was her number when we dated back in 1993. It's still the same phone number, and I have it right here in my head, still to this
Yeah.
day.
I got my home phone number in my head. That's
I
it.
think all us extras have little bits from the old days stuck.
Oh, yeah.
Can't get rid
Well,
of.
dude, the phone number thing's so right, Jim. Like I called you today, Jim, and you went straight to voicemail. It's like
You called me?
it's like you taking a fucking nap.
I didn't even know my phone rang from you.
No, it went straight to voicemail. So it's
really
like
well.
it's like you were in a bad area or something.
Oh, maybe. Or maybe someone else was calling me. I don't know. I don't even have.
I don't leave a
So
message.
who's winning the election here, Jim?
No, this isn't. This is just a survey, but this survey shows that a significant portion of illegal aliens have been voting in our elections.
Ugh.
Cannot.
A combined total of 94% of U.S. citizens said they voted for Donald Trump or Joe Biden in the 2020 election. But what's this? A combined total of 91% of people who said they weren't U.S. citizens also voted. Look, you add another candidate, 97% say they voted for somebody. These people say they're not citizens. And 79% of people who weren't sure whether they were U.S. citizens also said they voted for somebody. Now,
What?
I can tell you that is stunning and incredible. And you say, all right, well, you know, maybe there were only 3 of them and this is just noise. But let's go all the way to the top. Out of a sample of 2,466 U.S. likely voters, a combined total of 222 of them said they were not citizens or not sure. That's roughly 10%. So I think it's 9%. Like, that is a statistically significant and major portion of the people who tell us that they are U.S. likely voters.
And when you see that legislation coming out, the way they want to pass legislation that says you got to have ID or whatever.
Proof of citizenship.
Yeah,
You know,
proof of
to
citizenship.
register to
Yeah,
vote.
and the
That's
left
it.
is just, I can't believe it. Why would you do that, racist? In fact, there's a point where as soon as somebody calls me a racist, I know I've won the fight.
Oh, that is so cool, Boston Bob. Your fucking phone, if you buy a Bentley, will not work in the car.
No shit.
That's
really?
fucking cool.
Is that all I have to do is buy a Bentley? I thought it would be harder than that.
Well, just ask Jim for a loan. He'll hook you up. The Real Nerdy Review says, go
You know
back.
what? I
look
might
at-
be looking
look at
for- I might
2012
be
versus
looking for an
20,
investor at
24
some
Joe
point.
video. Huge shift. Oh, yeah. Joe's dead. I don't think that was Joe. I think that was a stand-in, man.
No, maybe the government's going to have the best AI.
Oh,
ID, what you were saying about voter ID. And there's a clip, Adam Carolla. Have you ever seen when he interviewed Gavin Newsom and was drilling him on that? It was so
I
good.
do like him. I don't know if I saw that specifically. Do you have it to share?
It's amazing. He wrecks Gavin Newsom about why can't get
yeah,
IDs.
I did hear that. I heard it through
fucking amazing.
I think I heard it through a different podcast. I think I heard it through or Aaron McIntyre's.
Mhm.
Yeah,
You like Carrillo's show?
From the Ace Network.
Yeah. Do you like Adam Carillo's show?
I haven't heard it in a while. I do like him a lot. There's so much stuff out there. I tend to lean to like my go-to is, since whatever, I listen to some Bible. I listen to like Dan Bongino. I like Steve Dace. I listen to and then your Comicscape guys, you know.
Sure.
I like to catch up with Katie did, and she clipped you guys from the other day, just recently. So I got to listen to that. The thing that she did on Lucifer Valentine the other day was absolutely I felt like I needed to take a shower after. It was so bad.
Yeah, she did 5 hours of that
So
shit
bad.
too. Yeah,
I know.
Did you see more stuff has come out about that guy that used to work for Mr. Beast?
Yes. Yeah. And
it's a lot
Vito's
worse
like,
than
I told you so. I'm like, Vito, everybody knew this was going to happen. As soon as you start altering body parts and calling yourself something that you're not, you know, there's
so was he grooming people or whatever?
Yeah,
Shit,
it looks like a.
Yeah, it was. What is what are we watching here? Is this
This is the stuff going on at the
Capitol.
This is oh my god. At our Capitol. Oh my god.
As soon as this person touches a cop, the guy's got a weapon in his hand. Shoot him! Shoot him!
Shoot him!
Seriously, you start putting some of these people down, even if it's not mortal wounding, they'll stop.
See, this guy right here. This guy right here. He's got a weapon in his hand. He should be taken down and arrested.
Yeah, these people aren't that strong. They've never been spanked. Remember, none of the people who protesting in any of these, they've never experienced any corporal punishment, if I'm using the right word.
They're all paid to be there.
Never been spanked. They've never been spanked by their parents. These cops could literally be using Bobby tactics. If you understand what I mean by that?
Sure.
They could be using Bobby tactics. They don't need guns. They just need a club, bop somebody on the head, and that's the first time any of these people have ever felt any kind of pain in their life.
The
problem is we don't have any politicians with the balls that old man Daley had to tell them to just start beating them. What trees do they plant?
Hey,
it would be hilarious.
Look how little and weak the cops look, though, and they just look pathetic. Like
I know there was a guy that went out there and started swinging with his,
anything.
No, but they look like little
They're not allowed to do anything. They're wearing bulletproof armor. Where is there any guns?
Is that one?
Who's going to shoot any of these people?
I don't know if that's a gun or pepper spray or something.
I don't know.
But if that's they should all have like shields or big batons for the riots. They can go like they're supposed to go
on at least. They should be wearing riot
push them back.
Yeah.
Like a phalanx.
Yeah, and they burr.
Right.
They need to bring back the horses when they used to take the horses and just kind of burr right through, and the horses go sideways and just knock the people over.
Yeah, like in New York City. Yeah.
There's a ton of solutions here. All of them are less than lethal. All of them would work. I mean, I'm not speaking as an expert. I've never seen anyone in any of these protests that strike me as somebody who knows how to handle themselves. They're all whining.
Last time there was a protest like
all
this,
they're doing, it's all vocal.
In the Capitol. They were throwing flashbangs and stuff at the people and shooting rubber bullets at them. And, oh wait, but that's right because they were on the other. Yeah, that's right. It was a different political.
Yeah, they all
faction.
went to like this prison thing.
Yeah, they were all in. Some of them are still in jail.
Yeah.
You know, for touching a cop
or sitting on a desk
I watched
chair.
a video the other day of a Byrna, BYRNA. You know those?
The pepper guns, pepper ball guns. Yeah.
40 yards away, these guys are testing them out. It's one of those channels that they try out different firearms. 40 yards away, and they're using the tear gas ones. And they hit the target, and they're like, "Oh, it feels good. It's got nice control and stuff like that." And then the wind changed, and it started blowing all of the chemicals and stuff back towards the guys who shot. They couldn't finish the video. It was like they're coughing, stuff coming out of their nose and whatever, and it was kind of funny. None of that is being used. None of that is being used.
They're defacing monuments, dude. They're spray painting monuments and all that shit. So a peaceful protest is a peaceful protest, but when you start destroying shit, you got to intervene. This is not a fucking free for all, man. Stop.
If you're walking down the street with a sign with your speech on it, that's your peaceful protest.
Yeah.
This
raise your flag, say all the chants.
Yeah, as soon as you start damaging property or people, it's no longer a peaceful protest.
They were dragging cops around.
If you tase them, they'll come back tomorrow. That doesn't fix the problem.
Right.
Yeah, no.
You need to remove them.
Yes.
In Minecraft.
Yeah. In Minecraft.
Let's see if anything happens.
Who knows? The fucking police probably are in on this shit too.
We're cops. They have to tell them we're cops. We're cops.
Police? God.
Let them go! Let them go! Let them go!
Are they just retreating?
Yeah.
Those are they supposed to do with the little tents.
Those cops are like fucking twinkies, dude. They have no presence. I swear to God, they're high school kid actors.
That guy threw an elbow at the cop. This guy.
A lot of burgers and fries that aren't being served.
This guy right here. Watch him.
Yep. He hit him back with the club, though, didn't he?
He should have hit him right across the fucking face.
Right.
You know, there's a bunch of different places. And I don't want to give away any trade secrets or anything like that.
300 of them got busted in from Milwaukee, at least right after the speech.
Yeah, we have now identified 201 devices and growing that were at the Kamala Harris Milwaukee, Wisconsin rally yesterday that have now arrived in Washington, D.C. and are clashing with police. We have also identified the man with the metal baton threatening police. He was a regular at Seattle Antifa. For a handful of these dipshits, a parent is a member of Congress. But most, if not all, come from wealthy elites, Hollywood, Silicon Valley, Wall Street, political families. Yeah, most all of them are from wealthy families.
Yeah.
Well, we've known this forever, right? I mean,
sure.
It's
never spanked.
And they're probably getting paid to be there on top of it. They're all getting paid under the table to be there.
I don't understand if they're really this. Look, wouldn't it be a lot cheaper? Since we're flying people all over the country from the South or from Mexico and everywhere, and these people seem very, very, very passionate about what they believe in, can't we charter a plane to drop them off in Palestine?
Sure. Just like
I think we should do that. In fact,
all the actors and musicians who are threatening to leave if Trump wins, we'll fucking pay for the jet, dude. Get the fuck out.
I mean, like a really nice jet, something they're used to. One of those triple deckers with the drinks and the food and the spiral staircase. You know that plane that Charles Grodin and Robert De Niro were on in Midnight Express?
Sure.
That plane. Put them on that plane. Send them all over there and drop them off. And then now you've got some skin in the game.
Let's
see the Anthony Cumia thing there, talking about Black Lives Matter. I saw on Twitter that Black Lives Matter said they're not backing Kamala Harris.
Correct.
We read a whole letter from them last night.
The problem is, who gives a fuck?
I think that's coming from Obama.
I mean, I
It's coming
kind of
from
a little
Obama.
bit because that's funny.
I mean, it's
Isn't
funny.
it Julio? Who is it? Julio or Julio?
Julio.
Julio.
Julio. Okay. Sorry. Just you
He's
don't look
fine.
like a Julio.
My name's Mike, actually, but Julio's what I go
All
by.
right. Is it Skizzers or Caesars?
That's you need to get hooked on phonics. It's scissors.
Right. Who hooked on Pahonics? Right.
Julio Caesars.
Caesars. Okay. Oh, that chick, man. I heard
Yeah.
her talking earlier.
All right.
Listening to the FBI congressional hearing. Yeah.
Let's catch up with some Ricky's silly spoof. We're on part 8 of his series, guys.
All right.
So
All right.
we've watched all these up to now, and he's just going hard on Ripaverse. And the name of this one is ISOM, the Great Trademark Dispute. Episode 8, ISOM Meltdown.
Death threats, use deadly force, sexual misdeeds. Mom on a regular basis. This is the story of ISOM. No, not the International School of Ministry, but the comic by Eric July. Watch as Eric insinuates the ministry is full of fake Christians, but the satanic past of its editors is brought to light. Dick and Vito are accused of false flagging, but is someone else to blame? How does legendary comic artist Ethan Van Sciver respond? On Sifting Through the Trash, with your host, JJ Trujillo. Eric July previously struck Riley with a DMCA, saying that Riley had infringed on his trademark. Now Ripa claims he is wrongfully being sued for the same thing. His comic book, ISOM, shares the same name with the International School of Ministry. The ISOM organization had a trademark which
Let me know if
extended
you want to
different
pause it,
products.
guys.
This would include books, comics, magazines, and other things in that vein. They said they were worried about brand confusion. One of the biggest trademark disputes in comic book history centers around the character Shazam. He was once named Captain Marvel. Later on, Marvel also created their own Captain Marvel and registered the trademark. This was a bit of a battle, but eventually DC decided to sell the rights of the name to Marvel to avoid legal costs and also the risk of losing. Despite the fact that DC had a character created with the name that predated the trademark of Marvel, it seemed to them they would likely lose the lawsuit, and so they eventually settled with Marvel and gave them the rights to the name. Of course, a very big difference here is that only one of these is a comic book company, and the other was a Christian ministry. That being said, the ministry still owned a trademark that extended to print. Have you ever heard of the novel Mrs. Frisby and the Rats of Nim? It was later adapted into an animated film by Don Bluth. Unfortunately, at this time, the word Frisbee was trademarked by the company that invented the Frisbee. To avoid any issues, the film changed the character's name to Mrs. Brisby, and they also changed the title as well. I understand the argument that RIP apologists are making, that these are separate industries, and that ISOM is a common name. So how could you trademark it? Considering the precedent...
Ripaverse apologists say that ISOM's a popular name? Have you ever heard that name before, guys? Ever? I've never heard that word before. Or even that name.
These older companies, and that Eric eventually settled out of court, making several capitulations. It seems he may have also come to the conclusion that a pending court case may not fall in his favor. But considering the precedent of these older companies, and that Eric eventually settled out of court, it seemed also that he maybe had some of these same conclusions, knowing that possibly a court case would not fall in his favor. That's because trademark law is really tight in America. The reason you can't publish a Tarzan or a Zorro story isn't because of copyright law, as those are all in public domain, but because they are registered.
The chickens are a nice touch.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
That's why
saying.
Disney started using Steamboat Willie in their logo. It's a great way to maintain control of your intellectual property. Overall, this whole situation seems very ironic to me. First, Ripa sues someone for trademark violations, then gets served with his own medicine and complains about it. The ministry contacted Eric July, notifying him of a letter they received from someone named Obtuse Gnome, who was asking if the ministry was associated with Eric's comic. Ripa makes it abundantly clear to his fans he believes Dick and Vito orchestrated the whole thing, only to weasel out of that on Nick Rakita's show less than a month later.
What we have right now is a textbook example of gay ops. But a fat person by the name of Vito really ramped up his public hatred of me at the launch of the Rippaverse last year. Since then, very frequently, this person has made a point to speak negatively about me and this company. Parties have shown that they have no problem either using the state against us themselves or running op campaigns to
That's
maybe put
great.
someone
I
up.
love that
Oh
shirt.
my God.
This is what Ricada was going like saying, like, wait, what? I think you want to check your timeline on that. It was this video, wasn't it?
Yep.
Or am I wrong on that one?
Yeah,
you're right.
This is the video that he claimed he didn't do.
Yeah.
When he said, didn't you accuse them of that?
A
No,
fat
no,
guy
man. I
named,
didn't accuse them.
fat guy named Vito.
And then his friend, which is Dick.
Yeah.
And now what does Eric do? Uses the state against Riley for putting $20 on a fucking window.
$42, but
You know what I'm saying.
I know, but let's
like in a Biden economy, it doesn't really amount to much. 20, 42, whatever.
Yeah, it's worth like an Australian dollar.
Us to do it for them. This whole thing was initiated due to trolling. Had they done their diligence, they would know they were relying on false reports to initiate this very conflict.
A few moments later.
Did you accuse him of starting that lawsuit?
No.
Prior to him tweeting that?
No.
No?
No.
You didn't say that he and Vito were behind that?
No.
I
I wouldn't be
guys.
so foolish as to do that.
Because he never said the exact words, it's Dick and Vito. Honestly, I don't blame him for wanting to blame the two, as they've trolled him tons in the past. Why did he have to lie about thinking it was them on Nick Ricada's show? Even more frustrating is what he said about the ISOM ministry. Eric made a video calling the International School of Ministry Christians with parentheses. When you go to the Rippaverse website, you can find this article about the Soska sisters, who were hired for their experience in horror film. I'm not sure if horror is spelled with an H or with a W. Regardless, they were made the editors of the Rippaverse.
The Soska sisters, the Soska twins, they're my editors at the Rippaverse.
And leave their fingerprints on all of the Rippaverse's works and edit legendary veterans like Mike Barron and Chuck Dixon. The Soska's film history is extremely controversial and dark. They were in films in which tarantulas were sewn inside a woman's genitalia, in which they made out with each other, performed oral on a pregnant lady until she bled like a fountain. Let's take a look at Lucifer Valentine, the director of some of these films, a man whom the Soskas once idolized. Lucifer Valentine had sex with his own sister, who later committed suicide. These two ladies are the ones in charge of every single comic at the Rippaverse, and somehow this ministry is made of fake Christians. Some Rippa fans also claim they've changed.
The Soska sisters have been nothing but awesome to myself, this company, and its fans. I've had those conversations with Jen about reconnecting with God, and those conversations have been amazing. And truly, that's who she answers to, not me or you. You all know how young and dumb I was, so I take exception, again, to people operating as if repentance, forgiveness, and growth aren't a thing.
Yet those previous works are apparently what makes them qualified. And also, this is the logo they used in their recent live-action trailer for the Rippaverse. They were also asking people to support John Waters, the director of the controversial film Pink Flamingos, about a drag queen who is proud to be the filthiest person alive. The film has so many bizarre scenes, like eating dog poop, a scene of simulated bestiality with a chicken, which actually resulted in the real-life death of said chicken, chaining up naked girls and raping them to breed babies, which could be sold to lesbians. There's so much more. It's all so insane. And let's not forget, their sacrilegious self-insert comic, which they were promoting in September of last year. Does that seem like repentance to you? What's really getting to me is how the ministry settled with them. They could get associated with all of this crap. Obviously, most of Rippa's fans are conservative, and they weren't too happy about this. He shot back, saying his books weren't meant to be political.
Nothing to do with the Rippaverse. We don't do that political hive mind thing over here.
Ooh.
Even I separate my personal political views from the content of the Rippaverse.
What exactly is
Find
his
the irony
personal
in an
political views?
ANCAP
Because
creating a super.
He doesn't vote. He says he's voting's for idiots, and he'd be better off taking a shit in the ballot box. I mean, he just said that recently.
It's the same finger in the wind thing. It's the same shit that Clinton would do.
He doesn't believe in government, right? He's a libertarian, right? So
He claims to be a narco-capitalist, but he called the cops on Riley.
That's what I'm getting ready to say. He used the government to enforce shit.
He more than likely used some kind of Canadian tax breaks to get his shit made in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
So he's
He used
full of
charitable
shit. He has
donations to
no
get more
principles.
books out the
Yeah.
door.
So he has zero principles. He's a liar and a scam artist and a fucking piece of shit, in my opinion.
I think Tony Froggo did a whole stream on that the other night, that Eric admits he has no principles. I looked at it, but I wasn't going to EFAP Tony EFAPing. I'm like, no, I'm not going to do that.
No, but this is something that I've recognized in his writing. Everything is vacuous. Everything is nebulous. It's all gray. It's all undefinable, so that I can do anything it wants to at any time. When
exactly,
oh my God, I can't believe, like, for canon's sake doesn't even make sense at this point. But if you're not going to tell people what your main character's powers are, then they can be anything. If you're not going to tell anyone what your politics are, then they can be anything. So all he's really doing at any time is just being a chameleon, so that he can move from here to there and to wherever, and gain and lose followers. It's just he's a parasite.
He's a hanger-on. He uses the fellowship to grow his business, but he doesn't turn around and promote theirs.
And as much as I hate to say, like, I mean, I think that Dick is funny, but I know he's controversial for the sake of being controversial. Maybe that's not even the right way to put it, but so many people see him as like an asshole of assholes. And I think it's hilarious that that's the guy that got this guy to rise to the surface when he didn't want to.
He had to defend the undefensible.
Right.
That book is undefensible. So Dick called him out on his shitty writing.
Neither is he. You know what I mean? Like, there's when you talk to Eric and when you get to know Eric, if you were going to walk up to Eric and talk to him and really get to know who he is, do you think that you would get to know somebody who's for real?
Right.
Or would you be, or would it just be this constantly shifting thing?
I would never have a relationship with this guy.
I don't think I don't think you can do it. I don't think it's possible.
Right.
You can hang with him, but you can't have a relationship with him.
I mean, as a friend, no. I could never watch his content. I never liked his content. I never thought he was genuine. It just seemed like he was just doing the thing. Hey, I'll be the black guy on YouTube that's, this loud political guy after my music career failed. So I got to keep this YouTube grift going.
Exactly. And because it all trickles down, because he's not genuine, his book isn't genuine, his company isn't genuine.
Yep.
The money that's being spent on it is it's going away.
By the way, I don't even know isn't that book like tomorrow the last day for that book, Jim? Isn't it supposed to start shipping the 25th of July? Gooding? Jim?
I'm sorry, what?
Every fucking time.
No, he's studying. He's procuring content for you.
I was looking at
He's
something.
looking at the other monitor. He's like, Dave's gonna love this.
Yeah. I'm gonna say no way. He's like my wife. He hears what he wants to hear.
No, I was trying to find something.
That's funny though. When you say the phrase, it's close to the end of July.
But I thought Gooding ends tomorrow, Jim.
Supposed to be shipping. I wonder what I'll get first. Will I get the Fearsome preview comic first or Gooding?
Well, I thought they shipped Fearsome today.
Said it was going out today. That's the email I got.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Man, I'm so bad at
But he
checking
wrote
out,
cops.
so. I just backed
like
and
Alpha
trusted.
Core. Everybody knows to leave it all at the door. And should personal views get
Well, that's
in the
exactly
way
what
of business,
Riley did. He left the fucking money at the door, and you had him arrested.
I want to see something.
And then he stayed outside the door.
Yeah.
on thing over here. Even I separate my personal political views from the content of the Rippaverse.
but you have no.
Well, that's
there's
easy
no
to do when
political
you don't
views.
have any.
Right.
Find the irony in an ANCAP creating a superhero cop team.
Oh, he just called himself an anarch-capitalist there, right, Jim?
Yeah.
He just called himself an ANCAP.
What is the bullet pointed list of what you can and can't do to be whatever that is?
Well, an
and
ANCAP would never call the police on anyone. They don't believe in the police.
Right.
They don't
So
believe in the
anarch-
government having the anarcho-capitalist. You don't believe in using the
So what is it?
power
You're
of the
an
state.
you're an
You don't believe
anarchist, but a
yeah.
capitalist. Is that
Yeah,
it?
you don't, you
An
don't believe the
anarchist
state should be
capitalist.
involved in anything. It should, the state should not be using force for any reason. Shouldn't be any police should be a private police force.
Okay, right. So anarchy on this side and capitalist on this side, and is that what that is? Anarcho-capitalist?
Yeah,
Is that what that means?
yeah. It's an oxymoron.
He's riding the fence at all times.
Yeah, he wants to make all the money and not pay taxes.
Eric
You know what
July
I'm
is
saying?
literally
Like,
the personification of nailing Jell-O to a tree.
in the summer, yeah.
Like Alpha Core. Everybody knows to leave it all at the door. And should personal views get in the way of business, they won't be here.
Aside from that, your comic universe is called the Rippaverse, named after your YouTube channel, which is extremely political. Imagine if McDonald's said that they weren't associated with the Ronald McDonald House. That would be absurd. I was also curious what Ethan Van Sciver thought about this whole trademark lawsuit. There is a narrative that he stabbed Eric in the back. But if we see his thoughts at this time, we can see how he actually treated Eric.
Paul Gibb goes, does Ethan not know his fans anymore? First Barbie, now defending Vito the pedo? Guys, I don't know what you want from me. I just give you the truth as I see it. You can want anything you want. If you want something other than the truth, as I see it, you're going to be disappointed in me all the time. You're going to say, why isn't Ethan giving us the fun, comforting lies that we come to the internet for? You can go elsewhere for those. I'm going to be fair. I'm going to give you I could be wrong, but I'm going to give you the truth as I see it. Okay. And that's just the way it is. I don't care who it's about. Yeah. My advice for Eric July, and he's not going to take it, but my advice for him is, you got to settle the case quickly and quietly. And you may have to change the name of your comic book.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not the worst thing in the world, just do it as cheaply as you can.
Some may have felt that Ethan was being disloyal to Eric because he didn't greenlight litigation with the ministry and counseled him to settle out of court. In the end, that's what Eric ended up doing. Others may have felt that Ethan was also being disloyal for not throwing Vito under the bus. But a few months later, Eric would distance himself from the idea that Dick and Vito were the ones who orchestrated the lawsuit. What do you think about all of this? Do you think the ministry should have settled? And do you think these controversies will affect them? Next time, Isom's art is called into question. Eric is hit with a series of heavy accusations.
Well, the ministry didn't have to settle. He had to settle.
Hey, look who got a thanks. Yay.
All right. 2 enthusiastic thumbs up.
Yeah, he's fantastic. He's also a great
Yeah.
guest, dude. He's super smart. He's young as hell, too. He's a young guy.
I'm almost positive I subbed him the last time he was on.
Yeah.
Your
Can we take a slight amusement break?
Okay.
Let's do it.
So look at this. Wealthy Russian people are hiring luxury yachts which are heavily armed to sail near Somalia on pirate hunting expeditions. Their goal is to hopefully attract pirates to approach them so they can open fire with grenade launchers and automatic weapons.
My God,
This is the closest thing to the Purge currently available. So
the Purge on the open seas, that is so awesome. That's like hunting boar. You just get into a chopper and mow them down.
Is this fucking true?
Here's
Russian luxury cruise ships are offering pirate hunting cruises to customers. In these cruises, instead of being victims of pirates, people pay around $5,700 per day to sail near Somalia on heavily armed private yachts.
I'm in.
They hope to attract the attention of real pirates. When the pirates approach, The armed passengers on these yachts opened fire with weapons like grenade launchers, machine guns, and rocket launchers. The yachts also come with bodyguards who are said to be a group of former Special Forces soldiers. For an extra $20 per day, passengers can even use an AK-47 with 100 rounds of ammunition.
Shit, that's not enough.
I'm saving up for that trip.
It's like
Holy
only an
shit.
AK. Well,
I want a
dude,
Dishka.
You
I want a
gotta
Dishka.
stream. You got to stream that shit. I'll come on your cruise and I will pay you money. But if I don't have a Wi-Fi connection, the deal is off, and I want a full
Just
refund.
wear your body cam and then download it when you get back to the hotel.
Boost.
What do you think, Julio?
I love it. It's not true, I wouldn't think, but if it were, that sounds amazing.
Wall Street Silver usually doesn't post some bullshit.
Maybe it is.
No, but even if it is bullshit, based on the likes, it's probably a good investment opportunity.
Dude,
if you wanted
hey,
to start it up
It's not even
yourself.
that. Like, it's a great scam anyway. They could just claim they didn't find any pirates. They're still making their $5,700 per day.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
So
they'll
you get to
throw
go
you
on
in the water.
Yeah, you get to go on a cool fucking luxury boat, heavily guarded, probably eat like a king, spend your
Yeah.
$5,700, and maybe we see some Somalis. Hey, but even if we don't, I give you $20 extra and I can shoot an AK off the fucking deck in the ocean. That'd be pretty fun.
If
That'd
you
be a
get
good
on a
day.
weaponized yacht in the open ocean and you can't tell who the pirates are, it's you.
That's right. What are we saying, Julio?
I was asking if there were girls on it, Russian girls on the.
I would bet they're probably somewhere available on those boats.
All right.
See, I think they come standard because you have to hold one of them in this arm while you have the machine gun in this arm. That's how the movie poster image works. You have the girl here, right? Or no? You have the girl here, and then so this is how it works. Girl, gun.
Yeah, but where's the vodka?
They shoot pictures of you, and
sounds
then they'll have Dan Lawless will paint it as a movie poster.
Thus, the
Oh, this
Harris
is-
campaign is said to be considering butt plug for VP. Or
Well, that's-
Buttigieg,
that's-
whatever his name is.
Buttigieg. I haven't heard from that guy since he ran. Like, what the fuck is
they
he
got their
even
campaign
do?
poster
Oh no,
all set
he's
up.
the transportation secretary. He's responsible for that shit that happened in East Liverpool,
Palestine, and then the bridge that got destroyed in
Yeah, I don't know,
Baltimore.
man. I think the use of frogs is a little bit disrespectful, but what do I know?
well, Alex Jones said they're turning the frogs gay.
Ethan's gonna be so
Sexual
upset.
misdeeds.
Mom on a regular basis.
This is a story of ISOM. No, not the International School of Ministry, but the comic by Eric July. Watch the first skirmish of the comics war tonight on Sifting Through the Trash.
I love how they put
with
TJ
your
next
host,
to him.
JJ Trujillo. After Ethan Van Sciver says that Dick Masterson's criticism was good,
I think a lot of those notes were accurate. I read it. I might be the only one here who actually read the book when I got it. Why didn't anybody read this?
Eric explodes.
You know, I heard you talking, Ethan, about this whole. Like this guy in his review or criticism was excellent. That's bullshit. We read through it ourselves. And it's not excellent. It was literal lies built within it. There's one thing to be critical of something, and I'm perfectly fine with that. You've never seen me jump down anybody's throat for saying, "Hey,
Well, I mean, what you're saying is
jumping down throats right now."
Hold on.
And later texts Ethan, saying that him validating some of Dick's writing criticism.
Oh shit! Here it is. I'm going to be 100 with you, not be public with this. You're going out of your way to play the middle of the road publicly with the dude that has gone out of his way to work overtime to publicly to defame is whack. It's even weaker that you lend credence to their narrative. I treat you like I do anybody else in this space. Then why do you care what Ethan says?
Just sharing private DMs. Is that what EVS is doing here?
That's what this is. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fucking move. Okay.
No, it's not. No, it's not, dude.
That's what it is.
Now you got to know why he did this.
I wouldn't be sharing anyone's DMs unless they were trying to affect my money.
And
You
he
do
said
not
he was
fuck
going to
with- you
send
do
his
not
peeps
fuck with somebody's money.
And he was going to send his peeps to do what they could to Ethan if he doesn't get on board. So
right.
fuck
What
you.
happened was this DM got sent. It didn't get Ethan didn't leak this
And this
out
wasn't
until
DMs.
many,
This is an
many-
email, right? This is an email.
some-
It's not a DM.
It's something,
Yeah.
but quite a lot of time went by, and Ethan was saying, there was quite people talking about night letters and people being on a list, and Mercator brought it up, and then someone
because
Eric
they
said,
share-
"I never sent any night letters," and Ethan goes, "You sent me a fucking night letter," and he said, "No, he didn't." He said, "I have the DMs," and he said, "Well, prove it," and then this is how this came out.
Oh, so okay, all right.
Yeah, it's
If
not.
Eric said we'll show him, then
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, you're
he
right.
also threatened him. Like it was legit. Ethan
and implies Ethan is
tossed and turned over
amplifying
this
negative
shit,
narratives and
Julio.
declares he will now do that to him.
He was actually worried about if he released this, if it was going to hurt CG.
Because they share an audience.
Right. And he was worried about it, but him and his wife talked about it, and she's like, well, you got to fight for what's yours, honey. So go ahead and release it. And
I mean, seriously, if you're going to bother to legally obtain a copyright for CG, and then have somebody like, Eric July come in and start pushing his weight around, and you own that. You
a one-time comic book creator. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And you own it, then I would. This kind of thing happens in a lot of different industries. It's not, this kind of thing here is not uncommon. Somebody comes in, they think they know what they're doing. They don't, and the industry itself shows them that they don't, and they get mad at one guy who they think is the grand poobah.
Right.
Yeah.
In turn, Ethan still defends Eric when Riley showed up at his warehouse, but that didn't seem to make amends.
A couple of things. First of all, if anybody wants to meet Eric July, the place to meet him is not at his warehouse for a couple of reasons. One, it's inappropriate for people to go to his place of work to go hassle him. And two, he's not even there. He barely goes there. He has 15 employees, and from what I understand, and they're there all the time packing books.
Despite Ethan's attempts to be friendly, Eric decided he still needed to go to war. Let's go back to December 23rd of 2023. What were you doing back then? Perhaps you were preparing your Christmas feast, traveling with your family, or buying gifts for your loved ones? Eric was busy recording this 16-minute video about how he can take criticism, but doesn't want to.
It's bizarre. Narratives, though, man, there's something else. Just yapping and saying things with the sole intent of getting others to believe it, no matter how verifiably false it is. Eric needs to learn to take criticism. Then you conflate criticism with hate and project and act as if, again, I'm the one that's doing that. And ultimately, you can't take criticism means he doesn't give people with bad intentions the time of
Man,
day.
it just me, or is he fat as fuck in this video? He looks swollen, his face.
Dude, in the other video, his skin shade looks 5 shades lighter too. It's really weird. He almost looks yellow.
Yes, some of it's going to be lighting, but this is structurally fat.
Yes.
I understand what you're saying. That's the same thing that was like that Jamie Foxx thing when Jamie Foxx looked white.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, he looks like a 17-year-old fat kid. You know what I mean? He hadn't lost his baby fat yet.
Yeah.
You're being upset that I won't acknowledge you and publicly worship your every word.
That's God damn that
Probably worship. So
that
they're gonna unleash the batteries from the warship on him.
Just because I think that I'm greater than you think that I am, but you think that, but I should be paying more attention to you, and you're not paying enough attention to me.
Jim, are you wearing the right shirt tonight? Can we see the shirt? Hibbity jibbity bullshit.
Yeah, he was showing it off before the hibbity jibbity bullshit.
Exactly.
Where did you find that?
That's Rip-Off
is that
First.
from Rip-Off First?
Yep. He's got fucking tons of colors too. Jim bought 4 of them.
It fits nice. Fits nice,
Yeah.
Jim. It's very slim.
It shrunk.
It shrunk.
No, I wasn't going to go there. Let somebody else insult you like that.
No.
I'm calling it thin.
It's typical t-shirts though. They shrink. Like it just sucks. Like you got to always buy a size larger.
I know.
Than what it
I
really
do.
is.
They're always black. They're always washed and cold so that they don't do that. Hopefully.
Yeah, and I don't dry t-shirts in the dryer. We hang them up.
You got to hang them.
Yep.
This video also mentions an unnamed person. Who might that be?
Looks like
It's
Jim.
someone in the indie comic sphere he once trusted, even though others warned him not to.
I've learned a lot recently, and I'll be critical of myself.
No,
I
do
was
the
very
Eric
naive.
July
Despite
dance.
Do the Eric July dance.
You have him on solo, Dave.
I like it. The hibbity jibbity was going perfect with the fucking talk. It
I
was
know. I
perfect.
was really digging. I was going to throw a $1 bill in your undies. I'll be right back.
by being warned repeatedly, I gave a person or two the benefit of the doubt, and it got me burned.
He then goes on to say that this unnamed indie creator wasn't as humble as him and was unhappy to see Eric succeed.
If someone is an indie and they have more success than I ever did, good for them. Hell, I'll try to pick up some game and learn from them. I was wrong to assume that.
He is a fucking piece of shit, Julio. This is such buffoonery bullshit talk.
Again, everybody felt the same way. They saw the Rippaverse as a problem, and they've made it a mission to try to take me down a peg. Narcissism is a problem, and envy is a dirty son of a gun.
This same indie comic creator said that he was glad Eric was taking some of the heat off of his shoulders.
I should have known something was up when people would say that they were glad the vitriol was being levied at me, because it seemed to get enemies off of their backs. And that sort of explains why some...
Why are you angry about that? I meant that with love. I can't believe that. When I used to say that to him, I could see in his face would like get darkened. I don't mean like the complexion. I mean like he'd get like, I don't think that's funny. I'd say, Eric, I'm so glad you're here because now some of these nitwits can abuse you instead of me. Nah. And a normal person would go, well, it's just the way it is. That's what happens when you're successful. I'd see Eric get mad at that. And he really is mad. I stopped saying that. I said that to him maybe twice, like, because I thought it was like a friendly kind of jest.
Yeah, it's funny.
I could see that, like, he wasn't taking it the right way, like the way that I meant it. And I was like, I won't be saying that anymore. And I was like, I wonder if that bothered him. It did bother him. Holy shit. Oh my God.
Eric is mad that this unnamed comic pro who had his phone number and was on speaking terms didn't just call him and instead aired out some grievance out in public.
All those wondering as it pertains to the product of the Rippaverse. Not once have I been contacted privately by these supposed allies that claim they're just trying to help me and just want me to make $1 billion.
They did. They promoted the fuck out of you, dude. They did it all up front, Julio. Book's out. They don't have to keep talking good about you. That's not a thing. It's over. Move on. Because you abandoned them as soon as you made your first $1 million in 24 hours. He's like, I don't need these fucking guys anymore. I'm the fuck out. Jim, is that incorrect?
He's no, whatever. Go ahead.
No, say it, Julio.
No, I don't want to get clipped by Katie.
Please do. That's why you're here.
Everybody knows why he's making money.
Yeah.
Because he's your safe friend.
Oh, he's the token of the fellowship, and everybody wanted to support it. Yeah, you can say that. It's a thing.
Yeah, everybody wants to, it's like he's making money for the same reason Frankie McDonald makes money.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Doing weather reports.
Yeah. Right.
Frankie McDonald.
You don't know who Frankie McDonald is? The most famous Canadian weather forecaster in the world?
Oh, no.
He's a whack packer.
I didn't know. I didn't know Frankie McDonald. I hear McDonald.
He's got like autism, right? That's the autism guy.
He's got something.
Yeah.
He's got a lot more. He's got a lot more subs and shit than we do.
I know who you're talking about now. When you said Canadian weather guy, I thought you meant. I started flashing back to growing up in Buffalo. I mean, like, oh yeah, CBC. I know what that is.
Yeah,
you mean the guy you had him on the other night, didn't you, Dave?
Who?
We played one of his shows. We played one of his clips.
Oh yeah.
All right, it's all coming back.
I thought it's because he was making a great product. Yeah, he ships it on time. That's his claim to fame.
Hot and ready weather.
This guy. What about this fucking guy?
Knowledge, yet all they do is make everything a public matter. I have been contacted by people that actually want me to be great. They just actually pick up the phone or fire direct messages, and they're very thorough and helpful. Somehow they can
He
figure it out,
suspected me
but I
and
guess
told me
other
to be
people can't.
great. Eric believed Ethan was amplifying negative narratives about him and was threatening to do that to Ethan. It sounds like Eric was upset that Ethan aired that out to the public, as this may have hurt Eric's image. But maybe he shouldn't have
But I
sent
thought
Ethan
Eric
that
was a big
text
fan of
or
airing things
apologized
out.
for having.
Right.
You know, he wanted to air out Riley.
The more of this shit I see, the more I know I'm on the right side of it. And I don't mean just like with Eric July, but you know, stuff, the weird schism that happens between I don't even want to say it because there's so many channels out there that I used to really like. And as soon as they started having these issues with each other, like the Slums and John Delarose and Liam is out and then he's in, and this is all this weird. I keep seeing this hourglass and hearing soap opera music. Sometimes it's really upsetting, but I'm pretty sure I know who's for real and who isn't through this whole thing. I'm pretty confident. Sorry, I don't know.
I agree with you, ID. It's like a bunch of 14-year-old girls.
Yeah, I heard one podcaster,
and it's like men are acting like this.
I heard
It's
one
sad.
podcaster today talk about it. And he goes, you know, he firmly believes that when these guys do it, they do it on purpose for the clicks. Because when they go against each other like this, it's just to draw more attention to their channels. They're not.
Fine.
A lot of times they're not really that mad at each other. You know,
Sure.
if they're not talking about sexual stuff with kids and stuff, if it's about stupid books and shit like that. Look how much money.
Well,
Ethan
on
made
Twitter,
off this.
sure. On Twitter, yes, because
How
there's
about
no
YouTube?
acting
Oh,
chops. If you're going to do it on
how much
on
money
YouTube,
has
don't you
Ethan
need
made off
acting
fucking
chops?
ripping Eric July for the last 9 months?
That's true.
He bought he could buy a house with the money he's made. It's unbelievable. He was never making that money before in super chats. People tuned in, watched him draw, watched him talk about stuff, but he wasn't doing this kind of money. And then Eric has his fans throwing him money to fight Ethan's evil. It's fucking brilliant.
Well, no, I mean, people were throwing
advantage
money
of
at
the
Eric
situation.
Eric's fans because he was talking about politics and ANCAP, and he's a Blaze contributor and all that. But he's not a comic book guy. He claims to be like. I've thought about this before. Like if I was going to do YouTube channel that was dedicated to like one thing, I honestly don't know if I would be able to do it because I have all these different interests. And Eric seems like one of those people too. He's not going to be able to zero in on comics because he's never zeroed in on comics.
No,
he zeroes in on politics and he zeroes in on the things that he zeroes in on. He's trying to be something that he's not. In an industry that he thinks is easier to do than it is, and all he knows how to do is ship stuff out. He can't even coordinate and delegate. That he doesn't know what art is. He thinks the creative part is easy,
right?
So he's going, oh, the writing, I'll let the writer do that, and then the artist, I'll let the artist do that, and then the whatever, and I'll just let them do their thing, and it'll be great. When there's no central, it's. Attitude reflects leadership, just like they said in Remember the Titans. Attitude reflects leadership.
I can jump in.
Their attitude is, I want my check.
Go ahead.
I want my check, and I want to go. And that's exactly what these books bring you.
Something you said, ID, I agree with. You have a lot of interests and want to start a channel, but just because you start a channel doesn't mean you have to stick with one thing. You could do music Thursdays, woo woo Wednesdays. Star Trek. There's all those extras have lots. We're passionate about things. You don't have to,
right.
Don't chase the money. Let the money
Julio was
chase
here.
you.
I think we were here Monday night, and Julio goes. He sent a message. He goes, "God damn, that's why I love this channel. We talked about 4 things in 45 seconds."
Yeah,
right. But even that to your point, there's still a structure to it. One of my favorite, actually the only YouTuber I've ever met in real life, the expert. He has Taco Tuesdays. He has there's a trivia thing, and then each day is something different. He normally is in like the true crime arena, but he has a group of friends. Everybody has a good time there. I love visiting his channel when I've got the time, but we're very opposite of each other. I managed to find this channel because I happen to be here on days and there's a couple of hours. God damn it, I'm going to hang by myself and my friends.
Right.
But to your point, but he does, yeah. He separates his stuff out by days, and every day is a thing. But there's a structure to it.
I'll be right back.
Not here. No structure here.
And that's basically what it is. I agree with you, Julio, but thank you for helping me refine my point. There's no structure to Eric's creativity.
Little heck, I respect the shit out of Ethan because the reason I think Ethan is so successful at what he does, yes, he's got a great personality, but he's also protecting something, and people love to help people when they think that person is business or their business is actually being attacked, and they want to make sure that person can stick around and entertain them, keep making books, all that stuff. So it's fantastic. I could never ever say anything bad about, but I just think it's fantastic though that Ethan, he said, wait a minute, these fuckers talk about Marvel and DC every 2 days for 5 years, and they're rolling in the cash. I can do this against this Eric July guy because he never shuts the fuck up, and I can make it entertaining, even if it's boring as fuck. And that's why I get tired of watching it, because Eric is a bore on top of everything else. He's just fucking boring. No, I didn't mean, I know you didn't, little heck. I know you didn't.
No, it's Boston Bob's cracking me up.
Oh, he's great.
A little bit. Yes. I don't know. Eric is
he's a bore.
When he said that to the thing about Ethan is I'm just gonna come out and say it's gonna sound, there's a Rush Limbaugh to what he's doing.
There's a passion there, for sure.
But the style of the thing, there were people in talk radio that came to talk radio before Rush did. There's like Paul Harvey and a couple of other guys. But then when Rush literally saves the AM band, that's an achievement.
Yep.
There are other people that are doing crowdfunding before Ethan is in the arena. But the way that he works it it's just blown it way out of the water. He's expanded it, and there's no denying that. The way that he works, he gets the numbers that he makes, the money that he makes to work for everybody, and including him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's not just the in a campaign. It's not just the my God, it's fucking escaping me. I've never done one of these before. Stretch goals. Everybody gets something, but when he's on point. When Eric makes money, he spends it on Eric. When Ethan makes money, he spends it on the concept.
But he still makes so much more money than Eric does per book, even doing that, because his overhead is so low.
Yeah. I mean, Ethan understands money in, money out way better than Eric does.
Yeah.
You can tell.
Because, when you have nothing, but when you're making money off of a YouTube channel and nothing else, and being a contributor to the Blaze or whatever, and nothing else, you're not actually making a physical product. Eric July has never had to contend with spending money on the physical product. Literally, has he ever done anything? Has he ever done anything with keychains or T-shirts or anything like that, where you had to pay somebody else to make something else?
Hey, did you order the Razor Fist book?
No, I didn't. There's a bunch of things I wanted to, but I haven't been able to.
Check this out. This is a Ghost of the Badlands.
Is that a larger format?
It is a hardcover. Look how thick it is. It's not a comic book size by any means, and you can just check out some of this art.
Yeah.
And Ethan even says the artist
that composition is nice too. I like the wide.
Yeah, and there's not 10 bazillion panels per page with 40,000 fucking bubbles, speech bubbles, and then it came with the soft cover as well, and it's all in black and white.
Oh, that's cool.
Yep.
Is it all ink wash?
Yep.
I mean, like they didn't just take the colors and turn it into a grayscale. That was an ink wash version
ink
of
wash. Yep. So this there's George Alexopoulos. Ethan brags about his art. He said he just drives him fucking crazy. But
yeah, it's awesome
to read it. I just got it yesterday or the day before. So I think Ethan, if Boston Bob says, I really think Ethan is like one of the guys. He probably is. He's not. He wasn't raised rich or anything. So he's had to earn everything he got.
Big story for sure.
I just got the book, Lil Heck. I'll let you guys know after I read it this weekend. I'm going to read it this weekend because there ain't a whole lot of reading to do, but there's some beautiful art to look at. Those are the kind of comics I like. I get the story, but the art tells the story as well.
Yeah. You should be able to tell the story with the pictures and no word balloons. That's a really effective page.
Right. All right, let's get back to this.
I got the Bronze Star. I didn't get that. Is that still available through Razor Fist? Or is like the campaign over? I don't know how he was.
You can get it on Amazon.
Oh, okay, cool.
The difference with the Amazon version is it doesn't, like in the hardcover, the actual script is in the book, and also a bunch of the drawings that they designed for the book are in there as well, like extra stuff.
Behind the scenes stuff is in the book. Oh, that's great.
Yep.
Yeah,
he did the fucking work, unlike this.
I really love that stuff. It's terrible that I missed out. I'll still read it, but I do like all of my favorite comic books. They're all rough cuts.
Yeah. Just look for it on Amazon. People were pissed that he sold it on Amazon cheaper than
what? I mean,
crowdfunders.
I'm a mod. I should put this link in the Amazon or in the chat in the Amazon.
No, we got more than the Amazon customers. We got.
No, I know you did. Is he still
so,
selling it? Other like.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know if you can get it on his crowdfunding page or not. I just know that people were pissed because people that didn't get the book yet found out they could get it on Amazon already. But I don't care because I got more than they got. I got the soft cover, plus I got a script of the book in there. I got the rough cut drawings, all that stuff.
Yeah. I mean, if that's a known thing, then sure. Yeah.
And Mato, I have the proper camera to do that with now, so maybe that's what I'll do. Is I'll have the camera face down at the book and just review it that way. That's a good idea. The channel won't grow, but I have somebody that's going to start clipping my live stream so I can put videos up because something's got to give, man. I got to get some videos out. I don't have time during the day, Julio. So if we can do 8 or 10 minute clips twice a day, that helps YouTube push it because it's just more short content that they can put advertisements on. That's all they give a fuck about. They can't put a lot of advertisements on a 5-hour live stream, so they don't push it because they want to make money too.
Sent it.
He strawmanned my position and said a bunch of things about me without even saying my name. But everybody knows he's talking about me. And if he isn't talking about me, that's extremely irresponsible because then everybody's thinking he's talking about other people. So other people, innocent people, have to absorb that abuse.
Declaring war with an unnamed individual could be very risky, as you may accidentally declare war on multiple people at once. But from the context of the things that Eric said, it seems to me it's very clear that Eric was talking about Ethan. And as we know, Eric has a tendency of accusing people of things and walking that back later, something he did with Dick and Vito. Another important event to note is that Eric jabs Ethan with a comment about late books.
Your books aren't being delivered. Your products, things you promised your audience, they're not being delivered because you're taking your sweet time to make sure typos and art errors are resolved. That has nothing to do with it.
Yeah, we wouldn't want it to be good, would we? We wouldn't want it to be good. Would we want it to be a good book? No.
Typos and art errors, like actually making the shit look good and make sense. Yeah.
Which what tells you that he's never drawn before, so he has no pride in art, and he's never written anything, so he has no pride in the written word. So what a fucking retard. Yes, I said the R word. Jesus Christ.
Whatever.
Why aren't these people just using 3D assets?
Do you seriously know what that sounds like to somebody who pores over their own shit? You know what I mean? Like, I'm looking at my own, whatever. He has no clue.
Right.
There are seriously, there are days where you absolutely hate everything that you did. Whatever it was you were working on, it could be a comic book page, it could be a sign, it could be whatever the project is.
It could be a pottery fucking thing in your pottery class, dude. It's still got to take the time to do it right. It's got to be right.
Yes. And when you put something out that isn't right, it like I don't get sleep. You know, I had like a pair of bags that had like a Christian message on one side and there was a Jesus face on the other side, and I worked all day on this one over here, and I took a picture of it and I looked at him like the nose isn't right. There's something about his face that isn't right, and I went in and I fixed it. I did not plan on spending this time equals money on it, but it was one of the only times where my wife was like, I'm so proud that you went in there and fixed it because it looks so much better now.
Right.
And I wasn't even sure if it was worth the time. This guy right here doesn't understand that shit. It is as important as a meal, and he doesn't get it.
To your point, ID, I'm a musician. And I'm in a band and I write the songs for the band.
Yeah.
Is there a point where you go, it's not 100%, but 99% is good?
It's a
stop trying to.
I heard it put this way. Somebody had said one, and I had to go back in later and fix.
Never finished. It's always abandoned.
But he said, because time is money, you can only spend so much time on it if you're being hired to do it. If it's for you, you take as much time as you like, and I guarantee the stuff that you do for yourself is always going to make you more. You're going to get a much better feeling out of it than you would something that you do for somebody else, because you're only going to have a picture of it. They're going to take it away. You know, you got to I put it this way. And if anybody's watching, clip this because it's my line. I love my wife and I love my art, but I can only put one of them out on the corner to make money for me. And that's
what does your art think about that?
Sometimes, like Harvey Keitel in Taxi Driver, I would have to tell the John, don't do that to her. I have to make money off of it later. In other words, if you're going to demand that I put canary yellow text on a white background on a sign that you want people to be able to see and read, don't do that to my art. Don't do that. Nobody would, you know what I mean? Like nobody would do that. Don't tell me and don't turn me into a PS3 controller.
Correct.
Yeah,
right.
That's it. You know, if you want to use me as a remote control, then I'm not your guy. But I will take your money. I'll give you the best job I possibly can. But if you don't want to listen to me, you know what? Keep playing this. I have to do research and stop talking.
Because you lack the discipline to complete the product. There's also time mismanagement.
Ethan responds by mentioning this.
Because you're taking your sweet time to make sure typos and art errors are resolved that has nothing to do with it.
Believe it or not, it does. And once again, I will say that quality is important. Quality control is vital. Putting out books.
That's why they got editors. God damn it.
Books that are embarrassing messes, that are filled with cheap artwork from Brazilian labor camps. That use SketchUp and the 3D assets. I'd rather just not. How about if you just don't ship that stuff? How about if you don't have to? The thing about it is Eric could sell absolutely anything. It doesn't have to be comic books. For some reason, he decided it needed to be comic books because he wanted to compete with Marvel and DC, and then he forgot his mission statement was quality.
Less than a week later, John Malin and some of Ethan's friends would make a similar allusion.
John Malin says, you will produce. How many pages, John, in a week do people need to produce?
22 pages a week.
22 pages a week.
That's tough.
Yeah, that's too much.
With or without 3D assets.
Man.
In clip art.
Got to speed it up. Yeah, use some models. Use some 3D models, guys. Trace over them. Let's make.
And don't waste any time doing.
That's why Eric was saying the art side was so easy.
Erik wasn't even
so
tracing
easy
over,
for Eric because he was just fucking downloading everything.
Yeah. Don't waste any time.
It's all right, man. Art's easy. Yeah, because you're just fucking thumbing through
my God,
fucking
dude.
SketchUp warehouse.
Yeah, I know. He's not doing it.
It's 2024. Cave dwellers, come on.
So what are you
I
saying?
love
What is
it when
2024? How is that relevant to what we're discussing?
Get on that
that
SketchUp.
character
Get on
in-
those AI models.
SketchUp.
Make them books. Make them comics.
He may be an
The hard
asshole,
part
but he's
is
a good guy
business,
to have
guys.
blocking for you.
Business is where is the hard part.
Creativity is easy when you got the tools.
What are the tools? Brazilians?
AI, Brazilian,
AI, yeah.
SketchUp.
Ethan didn't harp much on 3D assets at this time, but perhaps he was flexing a secret weapon, and in a few weeks it would become his trump card and one of Eric's biggest controversies. Eric was unaware.
What has been the response to rumors
I love this
that
interview.
the art in ISOM, not from his hand, but from a program like Turbo Squid?
Yeah, it's a lot of it's been interesting to see people float around some just really untrue stuff. And look,
and continued on a warpath, but not just against large creators like Ethan Van Sciver, but even against small accounts too. You're going to see how Eric July, a creator with over 500,000 followers, sicked his fans on a small indie creator for offering a disagreement in an unrelated thread.
Nice. Well, that one's not out yet, you guys. So
Oh, what the fuck?
get on
No, I'm
JJ's ass. He's too busy with a real job. He's such a liar. What do you have here, Jim? What the hell
Well,
is this?
this is the first time that's ABC News. This is from Good Morning America. Whatever his name is, Stephanopoulos.
George Stephanopoulos. Yeah.
Yeah. Snuffleupagus. And they actually say something correct. Because if you listen closely, this guy's going to say that we're going to watch and see how the government tried to kill Donald Trump.
Amazing. Saw this today.
Chief Justice Correspondent Pierre Thomas starts us off from Washington. Good morning, Pierre.
George, good morning. Our audience is about to see the frantic seconds in the moments after the gunman tried to kill former President Trump. It's all caught on police body cam video.
Let's
rewind
that a second here.
Seconds in the moments after the gunman tried to kill former
government
President
tried
Trump.
to kill
It's all caught on
Donald
police
Trump.
body cam video. And warning to our family at home. What you're about to see, the frantic seconds in the moments after the gunman tried to kill former President Trump.
Government tried to
It's all
kill
caught
Donald
on police
Trump.
body cam
Oh,
video.
my God.
What you're about to see may be disturbing.
This morning, Chief Justice Correspondent Pierre Thomas starts us off from Washington. Good morning, Pierre.
I just found that very fascinating and enlightening.
On ABC too. ID, you're muted, ID.
The first two times I was watching this, I was on the YouTube end of it, and it looked like AI to me because the sound and the picture were
So
off.
back, it was so off, yeah.
But he said that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Because visually, I was like, is this AI? All right.
At first, I thought it was too, but then I was like, but you can
Who
hear.
can tell
I don't
anymore.
know.
I mean, it's like
Play
you
it
need
again so we can read his lips. Play it again
good
so we can read his
sources.
lips.
All right.
That's all right.
Chief Justice Correspondent Pierre Thomas starts us off from Washington. Good morning, Pierre.
George, good morning. Our audience is about to see the frantic seconds in the moments after the gunman tried to kill former President Trump.
It's on
all
ti- it's
caught
on
on
point
police
this
body
time.
cam video.
There's no delay.
And warning to our family at home. What you're about to see may be disturbing.
Nice.
This morning,
Yeah.
Fucking government tried to fucking ABC, man. The government tried to kill President Trump, just like they killed Kennedy.
Do you think that's why Biden might have backed out because of assassination?
They
attempt
obviously
failed?
threatened him with something. You know, you're muted
ID,
again. ID.
You're muted again, ID.
With all these good points, he keeps muting himself.
I'm sorry. If this guy plays his cards right, he can replace Eric July as the Black Guys Blaze contributor.
Yeah.
The
Oh,
Blaze
yeah.
Black Guys contributor.
Well, no, wait, because Eric July
And
just said on
Jones.
Pop Culture Crisis that he doesn't get any money from the Blaze.
Sure. I mean, when he works for them, when he contributes, he does. He's Rippaverse isn't getting any money from the Blaze.
So he
Eric
said.
July gets paid.
So he
however he allocates what that is, that's up to him.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't believe that either. I think that he gets money from old Glenny boy.
If I don't care if he does or if he doesn't. as soon as he got a hold of the Saska sisters, I dumped my Play subscription. And yeah, I did have one because there's some good stuff on there, but I'm like, I'll give him a 5-star podcast. I watched like one thing on there like I really like, and I couldn't justify the expense, especially after he glommed onto those two.
Okay, so I saw, or I mean, Gooding has 5 days left. It sold 8,535 books for 249,000. So earlier in the chat, people said, yeah, as a Rippa first, you know, kind of dwindles, which it is when it's doing $249,000 on a book. It's really dwindling compared to what it was. So does the interest, which affects, you know, like Trashcast and all that. Because me and you were talking about this last night, Jim, like Ethan would have 2,200 people watching. And now we look over and it's like at 1,000. It's like, you know, people just moved on. They're just doing different things because Eric's a fucking bore. He's just a fucking bore at this point. And it's not Ethan's fault. It's just Eric's books aren't good and people are waking up to it. There are not enough Sturgises and Hail the Lore. Is that his name? Hail the Lore out there to keep Eric in business at the rate he wants to stay in business.
I was shocked about this, that Gina Carano's lawsuit didn't get dismissed. I kind of thought it was gonna. So they might settle. Who knows?
With Disney?
Yeah. The motion
Why
to
would
dismiss
why
got
would it get
denied.
dismissed?
I don't think there's very much merit to it personally. I mean, it sucks that she got fired and all, but the company,
It's the defamation part though, right?
I don't know if it's defamation. No, it was a wrongful term, like discrimination, firing or something that they discriminated against her, I think.
On political terms or whatever? Is that what they're
like,
claiming?
I mean, I think it's wrong, but I just don't know that it's legally cognizable. You know what I mean? You know, that'd be like...
Well,
that'd be like any of these people here.
She wasn't under threat of her job until she made the tweet. So obviously it was a political move, and that's her evidence.
Right.
You know,
Well, I mean, I don't know all the facts. Like, I guess if they forced her to do something like go to meetings or meet with people and do some kind of struggle sessions with LGBTQ plus RA MQL up your ass squads or whatever, and then they still fired her, maybe she can say that it was hostile work environment or something. I don't know.
Ruth, because Eric's boring. He's just fucking boring. We get through half a video, Jim and me are like, enough. We got to move on to something more fun.
Well, look at this.
Trump's going to her to work for them anymore. So
Trump's going to sue.
Yeah. Let's talk about fucking, you know, the expanding Earth, Jim's favorite topic.
Expanding Earth. Is that like Hollyworth or?
Oh no, Tim. I know it's not going to destroy Disney. I didn't think the lawsuit really had very much merit. I don't know. I just didn't really think it was like, well, you know, they have morality clauses and all this shit and ways to get around stuff. And
but
when it comes to like artists and performers, it's really.
But she has all of the tweets from other cast members that are saying worse shit against the other party.
But so what?
You have to hear the case.
I mean, who gives
I mean, Disney might settle just to avoid discovery and give her $1 million or something, go away.
It'll be
it's
more
not
than
going to
$1
hurt
million.
them. Well, whatever.
You know,
I mean, she wasn't.
Now you know how I feel. Now you know how I feel.
That one tweet that she put out that got everybody upset at first was the one that was explaining how the persecution of Jews in Germany in the 30s was from your neighbors.
Sure.
It was just information that was spread. This is what, and so the persecution came from the people before it came from the government.
I don't think she did anything wrong. What I'm saying,
I don't think she did anything
wrong. A company
wrong.
can decide to fire anybody for any reason unless you have a contract.
I don't think she did anything wrong either. But when I think about the significance of what she was going through at the time and the subject matter and this recent visit from Benjamin Netanyahu, it's really weird. It's bad. It's dirty. It's disgusting. I mean, did that
Also,
really happen? Did that really happen to that hotel
Did you take
room?
this to court in Florida, Jim?
I don't
Right.
think in Florida or California.
I'm asking. I mean,
I don't know.
I'm not.
Hold
I
on.
mean, if it was in Florida, it would make more
Hold
sense
on.
if they didn't get rid of the case.
Idea, you're talking about the crickets and the maggots?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
oh,
yeah.
it's-
Oh, that stuff. See, now that's bioterrorism.
Okay, but my point is we've come so far. There's canceling Gina Carano for making getting people to understand what the persecution of the Jews in 1930s Germany was really like versus today. I mean, we're talking about this in the context of what happened in that hotel room. That was real, right?
Yeah, no, yeah,
That's disgusting. I mean, we were just watching the riots.
Yeah, I could actually find. I had it earlier.
My son works there and had to come home through all that shit and was texting me like, "What the fuck is going on? Is all this
really?
shit Union Station shut down?" He was disgusted.
Really?
Oh, did you guys
Told
see
him,
this?
"Calm down.
Wow.
Don't
See
get
this
angry."
these early pictures of
Does
Michelle.
he live close
Mike
by
and,
to you, or
Mike and
are you
Barry?
like worried about him from like way far
No,
away?
he lives 50 feet from me across the driveway, actually.
Oh, geez.
That's why I moved
Wow,
here.
look,
He
it
works.
says fact. It says
I'm
fact
sorry.
checked.
I mean, I'm
See
not
this?
trying to dox or anything. I just
Wow.
No, I don't have anything to hide. He docks the fuck out of me.
No, that picture. Who's this guy that's with
sorry, go
Michael?
ahead.
With who's this guy with Barack Obama?
I know I've seen this shit before. Who is this reputable?
It says fact checked. Yeah, I know about that law in California. I wasn't sure. So she's suing it, but she's suing in federal court, not state court. I don't know how that works exactly.
United Spacers.
Hey Tim.
What's
hey,
up?
I can. What's
Tim?
up? Been a
How you
while.
doing, buddy?
I can
That is-
hop on a few. I'm not feeling really great, but again, like
You're
as
a
I said,
healthy. You're a healthy workout dude. What the hell?
yeah, but everyone's gonna get sick at least once a year, right?
I want to
But
be.
I'm not missing work though. You know, I never miss work. But here's the thing, like
That's your problem,
as
dude. That's our problem as men. We don't heal ourselves.
real men. Yeah.
We suffer. We go to work. It's like what the fuck? Take the
Dude,
day
when I-
off, dude.
I
Relax.
never took a day off for being sick.
Me
'Cause I was
neither.
like, if
No.
I'm going to be sick, why wouldn't I get paid to be sick?
You still got paid. You had sick leave. It's so weird. Like we think.
No,
like
I
idiots.
just have a strong work ethic, and I don't want anyone else doing my work when I'm out and fucking it up and stuff. But here's the thing, like as I said in the chat, you've got these anti-Disney guys, and I'm an anti-Disney guy, but there's no quotation marks around it for me. And they're out there cheering the lawsuit when the lawsuit calls for her to return to her job at Disney. And people that were fans of that stupid, boring, woke character, Cara Dune, because that's what that character was in a shitty ass fake Star Wars show. Doesn't make any sense. Now, I'm not saying she's not a cool person and not a nice person and all that, but it's not an own and it's stupid. But I did predict it would go forward because one of the points of the suit cites a California law that you can't be fired for having certain political beliefs, whatever those are. Not saying she'll win, but I think that's one of the bases upon which the suit will move forward. She just has to prove that that's why they fired her. And when you compare what she did to like what Pedro Pascal did and he didn't get fired, then she probably has a pretty strong case that, yeah, she was fired for political reasons. Does she need the money? No. She's from a family that's worth, what, tens of millions of dollars and all that stuff. So even if she wins, this is nothing. Like
Her
it's
bills
just,
are
oh
still
yeah,
getting
we
paid.
owed them. Yeah, guys,
her
we
bills
got
are
'em.
still getting paid somewhere.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens, but I predicted it would move forward. My streaming partner, Greg, he didn't think it would. And I said, you're wrong because that part of the suit definitely has merit. So we'll see what happens.
Man, I don't know. I watched The Mandalorian first season. I thought it was pretty good, but I especially like the Gina Carano parts. She
Me
is
too.
a cutie.
I'm
She's
with
a
you.
cutie pie. It's undeniable. And if that was a shit part, I'll bet it's a lot shittier without her than it is with her.
Did you really like The Mandalorian, or were you just glad that it was not a terrible Star Wars thing?
Personally, I thought the character looked cool. The concept where he couldn't take his mask off because
But
at
he
the
fucking
time
did
I thought,
anyway.
I know, and that's one of the things that made me get away from it because, like,
how do you ruin your
if
own?
You're gonna
world?
love. Can we at least find an actor that loves a character and doesn't have to be like it's about me?
Yeah,
Dude, that guy's in everything. He's in everything.
Yeah.
Like Michael Caine.
Yeah,
Only
but the
Michael
deal
Caine
is
made
like
better movies.
the deal is for those of us who kept Star Wars alive, like during
Yeah.
the off years, all this Mandalorian lore was developed in canon, and then that taking the mask off thing was never a thing. That's why in the second season they had to explain it as some cult because the morons didn't know they were going to get called out on it. Because I guarantee that wasn't the plan from the beginning. They didn't realize people would go, "Oh, we're not accepting that." We did break it down in 2020 and 2021, where if you watch some of our EFAPs and stuff, we show how it's objectively not a good Star Wars show.
Guys,
I think
Kamala
it was just
Harris's grandparents, her mother.
It's our first black president.
She looks like her mother, dude.
This is her right here. That's Kamala. That's her ma. There's her grandparents. Wow, that's her aunt, her father's sister.
Where's her dad at?
Well, that's a funny story. Her father and mother got divorced, and according to her book, that they only fought over the books that they had because they were both academics, you see. But in reality, according to the father, the mother accused him of being a pothead, lazy, typical man of certain origin, descent, whatever you want to say, that did a lot of drugs and shouldn't be around kids and kept them away from her. And he's very upset about it. He's actually a Marxist professor, and he works for the Jamaican government. He's not happy about
So
it.
it's funny you mentioned that, Jim, because they were in Berkeley. Didn't they both go to Berkeley? And they were in these. Right. They went to black studies.
Kamala's dad
and
is supposed to be on Crowder
bullshit.
tomorrow.
I'm sorry.
Oh, really?
Are you kidding? Really?
Yeah.
He's pissed. He is not happy with her.
That's gonna be fun to see.
She's a
go
slut.
everywhere.
Married to a white dude.
There you go,
what the
Dave.
fuck?
Let's go.
She is.
Did I show you that meme?
How old is
before? Yeah, I
Kamala
did.
Harris?
Yeah,
How old is
60 something.
Really? She's the fucking future of the younger generation, the 60-year-old?
You got curry powder in the purse.
Jesus.
I feel like that's one of the main reasons why Trump chose JD Vance is mostly because of his age, and he's got a long way to go and a lot of influence. And if he's on board, if he is a goddamn, if he's a normal guy, man, that is nasty.
Hey,
Did that
Tim,
get
you've been
into the
busy with
beds?
work,
Did
dude,
that
huh?
get into the beds too, or just the conference room?
I don't know. I mean, here's the video. Let's see here.
Hey, Tim. Yeah. You've been busy with work, huh?
Yeah.
What the hell is this?
This is what they did to.
This is demonic. It's insects.
This is what they did to the Israeli hotel at the Watergate. They went to the Watergate and dumped all this stuff.
Here's what I recommend. Here's what I recommend as a more than proportionate response. They need to dump pig blood all over quote unquote Palestine. That's what they need to do.
Right. See now, you're going to where what you could have done was dip each one of your bullets in pig fat before you put them in the magazine and let them watch you do it on video.
Wow, now you sound like a good one of my idols, Blackjack Pershing.
Well, okay if he's cool, not okay if he isn't cool, but I like the name.
You don't know that story?
I don't know Blackjack Pershing.
Oh man, there was this little thing called the Philippines Uprising. You know, that place that we definitely didn't have an empire.
Pigs
and we
aren't
were
kosher,
battling.
No, I have a Filipino uncle, so no, you're wrong.
Wow.
No. I mean, like,
well, fuck that story.
Yes, we were there. That's how my uncle became my uncle.
Well, I'm saying that there was some kind of battle that went on before World War II, sometime around World War One-ish, maybe before World War One, when we started occupying the Philippines, and it became a because it was a territory of the United States for a while. And there was some kind of it's when they decided to change from 38 to 45 because 38s weren't stopping the hopped up whatever, and then there was something about they dipped bullets in pig's blood because there was Muslims they were fighting.
Yeah.
I don't
Okay. So I'll take it. Thank you very much.
But
I
hey,
don't know
Ruth,
the whole story. It got all screwed up.
I have no problem with that story on the end of my story.
but Ruth Saunders in the chat, there's a difference though. Like they're not irrational about it, where it's like, hey, you know, our prophet can have child brides and all that stuff, but you better not touch any of that pork. That's the rule. I mean,
there's understanding the Talmud, and you can get there by way of the Old Testament. There's a kosher diet plan, and there's also the rules of the human race that go along the side of it.
Well, they actually have rules though. Like there's like a percentage.
No, I mean, like, yeah,
but
they
I'm
do.
saying like for the Jews, there's a percentage of pork that could be in something. Like if they have a giant pot of soup and somebody dumps something in it, they don't throw the whole soup out. They just go, well, as long as it's they
Yeah, I know,
negotiate.
and I've seen the thing where they're trying.
I'm not kidding.
They're trying not to. They're trying to trying to get away with not using electricity on Shabbat.
Yeah.
And that means that you turn the oven on to warm in the morning, and it stays on warm and doesn't use any more electricity than it has to. And it's an accounting procedure, essentially, right? They're doing this thing where they're measuring between the good and the bad and whatever, and
they also have like Shabbat light
if you
switches
if you have a savior that forgives you, you don't need to do that accounting.
Or if you go to New York and places, you'll see they have like a wire strung around the whole place. That way they can still go outside because it's considered to be inside because of the wire. Someone blessed the wire.
Yeah. Or they have tunnels in New York.
And I remember seeing that. I'm not trying to offend any of my Jewish friends, but I remember seeing that kind of foolishness when we all had to stay 6 feet apart.
Yeah.
The 5th hour of this show is going to be on Rumble. By the way, Dave signed a new contract, so we can
Awesome
discuss.
Right. Everybody has to remind me where I am, not who.
This
Jim,
is
were you
right
this
here?
is terrible. This is crazy. This is insects are evil in every
insects and maggots, and worms and bugs.
I'm more offended by the rap song
Say,
behind it.
all insects except for spiders.
Yeah,
spiders
mute that
are
fucking
not
song, by the
evil
way.
because spiders.
They must have went to a pet store and got like stuff to feed crickets and bugs to feed shit because it doesn't. They're white crickets.
That's all
and
mealworms and crickets. That's all food. That's food.
Yeah,
for-
maggots and pet smart.
Well, like
Oh, the
if you own a
mealworms and-
tarantula, you buy this so it can eat, or like small
What is
snakes and other exotic pets. But
Is this
The
the,
carpet?
hallway?
yeah,
Oh, so they spread them all over the carpet or something, or through blood or something.
I don't know what that is. I think that's the pattern on the
in
rug.
charge of this hotel security.
Well, it's the Watergate. They have a history of letting people in.
I know.
Shouldn't be there.
Multiple times just to make sure it happens.
Yeah.
You know that wasn't on accident, though.
Oh no, that was not.
Oh,
accident.
we've had that conspiracy theory show.
Yeah.
It
was
was not.
three
There's no
break-ins.
way it isn't. That's lore. Why wouldn't somebody do that?
Mhm.
I mean, we're doing that now by rebooting everything and prequeling and sequeling everything and not coming up with anything original. In other words, this isn't original. It's just the bugs in the 60s were listening devices. That's all I'm saying.
Well, the difference is
That's the
in
difference.
the 70s,
bugs
it was
in the
Igor and
60s
Liddy and
were
about
listening
7
devices.
Cubans, and now it's busloads of
Okay,
communists coming and dumping maggots in the middle of. There is a difference.
That's a great metaphor because in the 60s, there was only so many immigrants and so many bugs in the Watergate for listening devices.
Oh, I got it.
Now the board has exploded and there's thousands of bugs in the hotel. And it's, it has historical significance and cultural significance. They're making fun of us. That's
Dude,
what
Of course
that
they
is.
are, because we won't do shit.
No,
And we're letting them do it.
yeah. We're playing this middle of the road bullshit with this stuff too.
How many blades of grass do you all have? I have 5 blades of grass. I have 5 small blades of grass, and I've got 5 big blades of grass.
I don't have as much blades of grass as Tim does. He's got a lot of blades of grass.
Who's Tim?
Crusader.
Yeah.
United
USA
States
Crusader. Hey,
gotta say,
Jim, were
though,
you?
My dog keeps pissing on my blades of grass. I have all these brown spots in my blades of grass.
Were you talking about General Pershing earlier?
Yeah.
So here's what's awesome. I mentioned on one of the streams I went to Kansas City several years ago to the World War I Museum. Well, I took this picture because they have a one of the displays on him, and I guess he cleaned up the border about 100 years ago. So I took a picture of that, and it shows him behind a freaking 50 cal, and I said, General Pershing making America great again. So I got to find that picture
Yeah,
somewhere.
he chased Pancho Villa all the way to
yeah, correct.
Sonora.
It was Pancho, yeah. But guys, I'll state it again and again. Go to that museum. It's one of the best museums I've ever been to. World War I in Kansas City.
Okay.
That's my favorite war, number 1. But
yeah, man, I know.
It was,
I
well,
mean,
that was before World War I. I
and
want to
World
say
War
that was
II, basically the
Spanish
same
American War, wasn't it? Or the it was the
we weren't really were we really at war with them, or was it just
we were trying to get our territory? Weren't we just trying to run?
I think there was some raider Pancho Villa and people were coming over and killing Americans or whatever.
yeah, they were bandits.
And stuff, and the Mexican government wouldn't do anything about it. So
we got Davy Crockett over there and got his ass killed and all that shit, right?
Well, that was way before that. But this was like right around the turn of the century, like right around the early 1900s or late
Way
1800s,
before that?
early 19. Yeah, it was probably like maybe 1895 to like 1905, and they sent they were just supposed to go and beat them back off the border basically and chase them, but Pershing and I think Patton was with them too, chased them like almost to Mexico City, and they were like, "Fuck it, let's take Mexico City," and they were like, "No, stop, we're not at war with Mexico."
They freaking mounted machine guns on Jeeps. Yes. And
Yeah,
they
why don't we
chased them,
own
so.
Mexico, by the way? Why didn't we just take that over back in the
I
day?
always thought that. Dave, I am so happy you mentioned this. This has been a theory of mine for years and years. If we're going to spend all of this money on all of these other things, why don't we stop doing that? By Mexico, and then the wall at the bottom will be so short. We're spending too much money on all this wall when we should be spending it on the country. I mean, what do we really hate about Mexico? Really? We love the beaches.
Not the
we
women.
Go there for vacation.
I don't hate Mexico.
There's
at all.
nothing about Mexico.
I
no
love
one,
Mexico.
I mean,
I think Mexico. There's Americans that are moving to Mexico because it's a better living condition for the money.
They're all in the U.S.
There's a blur happening over there, out over the Baja.
Dude, I'm telling you, I just don't know why we don't own Mexico, or it's not one of our territories, and we just fucking grow that economy like we do, and break it up into a bunch of states, let them have their senators, let them have their congressmen, and watch that place, because they've got resources. God damn, what the fuck?
Yeah, but the Mexicans are kicking out the Americans that go down there. They're deporting.
Just wait.
Oh, they deported 160,000 Americans?
Oh, there you go, Boston Bob.
Yeah.
They did?
Yeah, they won't let you buy any
property
within so many miles of the ocean.
Mm.
It's weird. Mexico's,
No,
I
no,
think
it's not weird, dude.
that sounds like
weird.
That's
they
not
want
weird.
their country to be their country.
That's
they
a
don't
good
want a bunch
real.
of fucking assholes to come in and overtake it and take over all the beautiful parts that the Mexican people cannot strive for and try to own because it's so overpriced, because a bunch of billionaires from America go over there and build these crazy places that nobody could ever afford. It's fucking great. I actually like the way they respect their fucking
if it's nationalism,
culture.
I respect it. If it's nationalism, I respect it. And if there's somebody out there that can afford property on a beach in Mexico and maintain it and whatever, and you can afford it, then go for it. And
but that's
even
up to the government to make that decision.
If they want to let them do it, yeah, sure.
But if they want to say get the fuck out,
but I still think it would be awesome to have Mexico as a
part of
state.
the U.S. Mm-hmm.
You wouldn't even have to rename it.
No,
Because
make
you know,
states in it though. You
if
could
we
make
have a
fucking bunch of
Virginia
states.
and a West Virginia, we can have a Mexico and a New Mexico. You don't even have to change the name
That
of
would
it.
be like, what would be like 5 times bigger than Texas at least, right, Jim? If Mexico was its own state.
Well, it would have to be more than one state.
Yeah.
I mean, there's
I
13
don't know,
states in
man.
Mexico right now.
Right. And they're
Mexico
pretty
has
big.
13 states.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Two
So-
Australian tourists were killed there recently. Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
They're
over tires
Australian.
or something like that.
Don't
for
go.
the-
That's
Plenty of
You
fucking
just
tourists
wait.
get killed in Australia by your crazy fucking serial killers over there, dude.
You
Plenty
just
of
wait
people.
until the U.S. government gets their DEI policy into the new Mexican state and the Mexican state police. Things are going to get so much worse.
Oh, dude. You think the fucking drug lords will let that shit happen?
We're going to make Mexico a state. We're going to implement DEI, and then it's just going to go to shit.
Wow.
Hey, share
Mr.
that picture really quick, Dave. I found it.
Mr. Beast has thrown his friend under the bus.
1916,
Oh, no.
Jim.
I heard about
Okay.
that.
But yeah,
I thought it, for some reason I thought it was before World War I.
it might have been, but it definitely was happening up until right before the declaration of war. So,
Isn't that familiar?
yeah.
Yeah.
But awesome museum, guys. Like, I would highly recommend going.
You know, we didn't get involved until World War I until 1917.
1917. Yeah.
I'm thinking 1911 to 45. There.
Yeah.
Nothing
That's
wrong
what I
with
was.
that.
I was like, what? 1916. That's we weren't in the war yet.
Yeah.
That's your favorite war, though, USA.
That's interesting. Yeah, I
It's the
wanted to
first
ask-
modernized war.
It's true.
Yeah, but they sat in ditches for years.
But they were
Oh.
tanks.
Like
They were
The first
battle-
dogfights.
and
Yep.
gained like
That's,
2 yards.
the
of
first-
fucking a year.
Is it?
No,
would
it's-
it be wrong to assume that there might be just a little bit of steampunk in that?
Yeah.
The thing
absolutely.
about World War I is the style of it.
Yep. And the first dogfights.
Yep.
You didn't have dogfights before or after.
Stop with camel
With
and
biplanes.
incidentally, Julio, I love your avatar. That fat bugs, that old fat bugs, the earliest of bugses in your avatar.
Chungus. God bless him.
Yeah.
Yeah, World War One had the first submarines, I think, U-boats, right?
Yes. Yeah.
That's what,
Yeah.
That's what
Exactly.
dragged the United States into the war because they kept blowing up fucking ships.
A World War I tank was one of the most monstrous things I've ever seen. It's nothing but track.
I have a T-shirt of the Mark One, British one. It was, yeah, exactly. It was
I'm
nothing
gonna
but
do a
track.
search. Mark I tank.
Mm-hmm.
Look at us knowing shit, and meanwhile they're protesters defacing monuments in DC.
Oh, I just want to see if I can find this. Oh yeah. Oh, that is it. Oh my God.
They have T-shirts and all that. Yep. at
How
the
much of a
museum.
sci-fi geek are you? Like on a
What'd you
scale of
say?
1 to 10. Are you
What'd you say?
a sci-fi geek at all? How
Oh
much-
yeah.
On a scale of 1 to
Probably 10. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Shit. All right. I gotta stop this screen and present. If you don't mind, Dave, I'm gonna present a tab.
Okay.
No, I've got so many I've collected while this thing's been going on.
While you're
there it
pulling
is.
that up.
No, I got
Yeah.
it right there.
That's right, Ruth.
Go ahead,
Zeppelin.
USA.
Got it
Just
right
I was saying, while you're pulling that up, like one of the things I've talked about before, I'm working on my universe of stories that is science fiction. Primarily, it will be novels, but there will be accompanying art, source books, and even audiobooks read by yours truly.
Oh,
can't
cool.
wait.
Oh,
Can't
dude, you
wait
have a
to.
voice for it.
Yeah, thank you.
So you're doing
not
kind
good.
of like a B.A. Turner thing because his are novels, dude. They're not comic.
I wish he had an audiobook. I'm telling you, I got his stuff. I've got everything. It's still in a box. I know I have it. It looks great.
Mm-hmm.
I can't sit down and read. I have to listen.
Jim's
to
having
it.
the same problem. He's like, Jesus Christ, I thought I was buying a comic, not a fucking
Well,
novel.
Yeah.
But better. Think of well, Crusader. I mean, as long as we're talking about it, we already have the equipment to record audio. You can put how hard is it to put an audiobook onto a USB drive?
Yeah, exactly.
And throw it on. Fucking
Thanks for the
Spotify.
idea. Yeah.
No, I mean, you're talking through a microphone. I am. I've got a little mixer board. I've got audio, whatever the fucking Adobe would Audition. It's so easy to clean up audio.
Yeah.
You have a bad day, you take takes or whatever, but I mean, how hard is it to put out an audiobook independently? Man.
Yeah. So presentation will be good, but also the story and characters will be, because guess what, guys? In the first book, I'm going to reveal the background of the characters. Can you believe that?
No way. No,
Yes.
stop. Are you going to hold my hand? Are you going to tell me a story? Don't you fucking dare. I like the mystery to keep going.
There'll be a lot of disrespect in it.
Oh my
Take
God.
He got disrespected. That's his motivation.
Yeah, that's awesome. Oh,
Take
God.
my money. I'll call you in the morning.
What were you going to pull up? Do you have a picture?
Yeah, I got
Yeah, share my that's that tank he's talking about.
Yeah,
that
Mark
is a
I,
world,
yeah.
is a World War I tank, and I think it's driven on what, coal?
It's gasoline, I believe. Yeah.
Man,
They broke down all the time.
All the
That
time.
They
was
did, correct. Yes.
to make a
And they
halfway
could,
where they're
they
supposed
could
to
get
go.
those.
And
Couldn't they knock those off the tracks pretty easy too? Wasn't that a thing? Like
That was a British tank, if I'm not mistaken.
That is a British tank.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, but a
was
lot
it
of
the
them
German
are
tank that
so
got knocked off the
familiar.
tracks
Let me
pretty
see
easy?
if
Not the
there's,
British one, right?
Oh hell! I mean, how about this? Just do I'll share the search. I mean, there's so many good configurations. There's a freaking. It looks like a noose made out of chains on this one over. Yeah,
I love the aesthetics. Looks cool.
Exactly.
It's very steampunk, right? It's very steampunk. Like,
Well, they were designing that tank so that it could go over the trenches.
yeah,
right.
You know what I mean? That's what to pass over trenches and stuff. And it was basically they were thought they would just be an aid to the infantry. They didn't realize what the Germans discovered very quickly. That tanks are actually their own. That tanks will be supported by infantry, not support the infantry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know what the thing is? You know that the tank became the formidable weapon it is now because somebody fell in love with the concept. You know what I mean? Like, there's
true.
no
It was a
way
nerd.
I'm going to let that exactly. Yeah, that nerd
like
would not
submarines.
let it
Yeah,
fail.
sure. Yep.
Look at the freaking staircase next to this thing. It is. I mean, and you can see like the feeling that I get when I look at this is the same feeling I get from the Sulaco and the drop ship in Aliens and the personnel carrier.
Mm-hmm.
Super thick, big fat wheels, like no air. Nothing's gonna go flat. Of course it did eventually, but
Just imagine if they thought of mechs in World War One.
I know.
We'd have them now, probably like super advanced ones.
That would be awesome. I know,
like in Blaine
I went to
Pardot's
see,
novels.
On the way back from, you guys know I was on vacation. On the way back, I hooked up with my brother in Georgia and his family. We went to a hobby town out there where he lives, and they had like a mech, a Gundam that was as tall as you.
Wow.
Somebody bothered to put together, and he is one of those model guys. Like, it's called Kit Bash Federation is my brother's channel, and I love his edits. He does some quick videos, but it's all movie quality model making stuff that he does on the side, you know, and it's great stuff. I'll put it in the private chat, and you guys can check it out.
Nice.
But yeah, for any sci-fi geek, it's I mean, I grew up with them. We played with Legos together, so I guess I get them on a different level than everybody else. But it is fun stuff.
You know what I saw, and I got to get it at some point. Like on one of those T-shirt websites, they have a T-shirt in either blue or red, that specific shade, and then that like Lego space insignia that has like the planet with the rocket zipping around it. I've got to get that. Remember, you could see it like on the shirts of the little minifigures of the space sets.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. No, yes. The little space guys had it on the
Yes.
printed on the front of them. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that space kit goes for so much now.
Blue Gundam says
Mine
Crusader
break
sounds
in-
like Mark from Classic Gamer Room.
All right,
You
I'm
know
gonna
who that
throw
is,
this.
Tim?
I don't know who or what that is. Sorry. Thank you though, if it's a good thing.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
throw my my brother's channel in the private chat. Is his youtube.com at Jeffrey's Tube.
Jeffrey's Tube from Star Trek.
Yeah. But Jeffrey as like Jeffrey Chaucer, he spells it. So it's got a nice it's a little bit of a different flavor to it. Yeah,
We'll
Jeffrey's
put it in
anyways,
the
you
chat
guys
and
go in there.
everyone follow that.
Yeah, everybody follow that and share that channel because he goes to Wonderfest and there's a ton of awesome, talented, like realistic, like super high level realistic model makers. And he goes up there and gets an award every year. And I'm amazed by everything that he does. It's really crazy.
Nice.
I know. I mean,
any-
and he works for a company that makes cardboard box displays. And he knows like 3D modeling the way that EVS knows a ballpoint pen.
Does he do any Babylon 5?
He loves Babylon 5.
Nice.
I don't know if he's got it. It's going to be either a physical model or a 3D model or something that he's practicing with. But if you check out his videos, you'll be able to see him modeling things, printing things out, gluing things together. And I mean, from the shell of a upright vacuum cleaner, he starts with that and starts using everything, Bic lighters and every other thing in life that's made of plastic. Go like, hey, where have you seen this before? It's the on-off button to my drill, and it's awesome.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow, Mr. Beast shit is going nuts, huh, Jim?
Yeah, Mr. Beast said he's hiring an independent third party to conduct a thorough investigation to ensure he has all the facts.
Sounds
But I thought he already fired the
HR
guy.
to me.
Yeah.
I don't even know what's going on with Mr. Beast. What's the deal?
It was something weird with
his sidekick.
The guy that he was his sidekick that was married with kids and then all of a sudden went trans. Turns out he was communicating with 13, 14-year-olds online.
Shocker.
How's that
He was
Mr.
like
Beast?
Jared,
problem?
he was like Jared from fucking Subway.
Was one part of his team, and then was his
No.
friend. I don't know, and
No,
was
that-
defending
that-
him.
Yeah, because he was in line with LGBT. But thank God there's another line that shall not be crossed. Like this line and no further. Can we please, for the love of fucking God, save the children from this?
This
If
is
you
strange,
don't
too.
mind.
What's this, Jim?
This
Sorry,
scene, I don't know, some
going
person that's a Ripaverse person, I guess, has got a problem with touching kids.
Is he in the picture to the right? I'm lost. Oh,
I don't know who this is. Some person.
Okay.
the
Something
crime
about
is sexual conduct with
a
minor.
sexual motivation. I think it's this person.
Michael Lawrence Parks.
I don't know if this is the same. You looked up dirt on me because I called you out for racism. So I don't know. This is him. This guy NECA. Is this the guy? That's the same guy?
Yeah, but what does it have to do with the picture of the Satanist twins along with this couple and their child?
Documon could never get to the bottom of anything, though, Jimmy. He doesn't really know anything. He just is always like this distant person that has some bullshit knowledge about stuff that's bullshit. I have 9 more cards to read, and I just don't have the energy. But I'm going to do it. I got to do it. Julio's the one who sent me the cards. I might spend Saturday just recording them and then release like 2 a day throughout the week. Because the weird thing about YouTube, you can't have more than 3 videos a day. Because if you do, once you go past 3, they do not promote your videos at all. You can only do 3 things a day on YouTube. So
I won't have that problem.
Yeah, but if you spent the weekend doing like some Star Wars videos, Crusader, you had the time, and you're like, hey, I'm gonna make like these 5-minute videos because I'm pissed off about this or that, and you just couldn't release them all the same day because when you went to do a live stream that night, nobody would know you did it because I won't even fucking say you're live. It's weird. Yeah. So,
hey, I'm reading some replies here. So apparently, the guy in the mugshot. And this is somebody saying it, so disclaimer. They're saying it's one of the ones following Mint at the event down in Dallas. Remember toward the end of the video?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Where she's like, "Fuck off" and all that.
Oh, maybe that's the guy.
That's what somebody's claiming, but
oh, guess who's gonna stream allegedly?
Yeah, with Good Logic.
He's about as exciting as EVS and Eric July nowadays. That ship is
Again, consistency matters, dude.
Well, there's nothing interesting going on.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, well, there's plenty of interesting stuff they can talk about. I mean, one thing about Good Logic is that Jewish man loves him some Trump, and this whole Kamala thing, saying she has the delegates. I'm sure they'll have a conversation about that. He's a pretty political guy, right, Jim? A Good Logic? Yeah.
Yeah, he seems like a reasonable guy. Wisconsin voters say Kamala Harris is responsible for covering up Biden's cognitive decline. Well, yeah, everybody knows that.
Right.
Everybody was in on it.
I don't blame anybody but his wife.
Well,
she could have stopped it a long time ago.
I mean,
she's the one that's his wife. She's the one that could have said, dude, we got to stop. You're not capable of this. You can't even fucking remember my name in the morning. You can't run this country, Joe. And she knew that shit when he was running in 2020. He was barely aware of the surroundings then. So Jill Biden's a piece of shit. She just wanted to be first lady. She got it. And now and who do you think's really pissed though? Hunter. That motherfucker might have some charges after his ass now. But his dad might pardon him before he leaves, huh, Jim?
Well, he's either gonna pardon him before he leaves, or he made a deal with Kamala to pardon him if she wins. But it would be she
can't do that in the beginning, though.
Oh, but how Nixon and Ford would that be? Wouldn't that be so strange to have a Democrat pardon a Democrat when that gosh darn Republican pardoned that gosh darn Republican?
Yeah, but if Biden really wanted to bring the country together, he would just go, I'm going to pardon. He would just start pardoning a bunch of people.
I've got to find that picture of Nixon laughing out loud and start adding some text.
Oh, look at this. That guy was on Gab. Why was he on Gab?
I didn't know Gab was still a thing.
This says
it is.
The shooter was on Gab posting, supporting Biden and all this stuff. I don't know how true this doesn't make sense. Gab, I thought, was right wing.
That's being a troll, though, Jim.
Oh no, is it right wing or is it alt right? And if it's right wing or alt right, then what is BitChute, for the love of all of creation?
Jill's been a lot more than first lady. Yeah,
the entire family is abusive
corrupt,
to each other,
dude. Yes.
No. I mean, they're the worst human beings.
I mean, didn't he watch his granddaughter shower or some weird shit when she was 12?
Biden?
Yeah.
No, he was taking showers with his daughter when she was 12.
Oh, his daughter. I thought it was his granddaughter.
No, daughter Ashley Biden. They're so bad to each other. They're so bad to each other. How could that energy not leak out all over the country?
Dave, I got a good Adam Carolla clip. If you want me to go ahead to play it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Present it, dude.
I would love to see it.
You sure? All right.
Yeah. I mean, well, it's not my show. You say him. You tell him.
I just said present it.
All right. Here we go.
Lost his job. That's why you need to sock away some money when he's gainful.
This is him and Gavin Newsom, by the way.
Okay.
Okay. Yes, they foreclosed on your home. That's why you need to have a network, a community, friends, family members, money put away.
I got it, but think about
Don't
Adam,
have the
half,
kids.
Half of African Americans in the state of California, roughly half of Latino families, have no access to a checking account or an ATM. Things we take for granted. They don't have.
What's wrong with them?
Pause it.
Well, because
Pause it.
Yeah.
They all have access. They choose not to do it.
I remember this. This is absolutely classic.
It's
Tim,
great.
what do you think?
Definitely
They have access,
a
right?
definite top 10. It's I have not heard Gavin Newsom get taken apart like this. The last time it happened, this happened, and then the DeSantis debate. DeSantis did the same thing, peeled him apart like an onion.
Did any of you guys hear that? I can't remember who it was talking about how the student loan debt is actually racist because, the African American debt holders still have 94% of their after 20 years or something, still have 94% of their debt owed, and non African Americans have like 5%.
After 20 years?
Yeah.
You mean they don't pay their bills?
Well, that's what I thought it implied, that they weren't paying their bills. But
you
I
didn't
guess
say
there
it.
was, that's the way but they were trying to say like it's racist because they didn't pay their bills because it's racist to pay.
I don't have to say that to my daughter before she goes off to college to learn how to do statistics. Honey, if they call you racist, you're doing it right.
Yeah.
But Jim, to answer your question, they do have access. The problem is that if you go to any area that's heavily populated by Hispanics, there will be several outlets, and usually the names are something like Dinero Rapido or something like that. As what they do is they send money back to their family in Mexico and Honduras and El Salvador,
And they live 20 to a house in America, so they can send 80% of their income back to Mexico.
Correctamundo, mi amigo.
I believe that remittances is a national.
It's a national debt problem. Yeah.
No. I mean, as far as money into Mexico,
no, we should be taking all that money before it crosses the fucking border.
Well, you're right, Dave. But we're dumb, so we don't, and that's why it's the second highest. That's their biggest earning potential in Mexico.
I did IT support for a Spanish language newspaper in DC, and I was buddies with the sports reporter who wrote. He said he made more as a sports reporter at the newspaper than anybody makes as a doctor in Mexico. So we kept half his money up here, and he sent all the rest home to his family. It's true.
So he doesn't get to spend that money back in the country where he lives, which fucks our economy over.
He was a great guy, by the way. I'm just saying. Yeah.
No, I get it, but I don't want their family here. So I guess it's you pick your fucking evil, right?
If that's the rule, then you exploit it so that you can get ahead.
That's right.
We do
Family
the same
comes first.
If it was the other way around.
No, it's our problem as a government that we let it happen. Is my point. I'm not blaming the Mexicans. If I could do it, if my family was poor and I could come here and do that and send a bunch of money back and still live good here, why the fuck wouldn't I?
Yeah, I love that they're getting away with it. I hate that I'm paying for it.
It's not the people.
Oh,
it's the
awesome,
government.
Bob. That's awesome. That's awesome. I hope. Imagine if you were driving a diesel truck. Oh my God, they might have fucking pulled up on you, man, and aired you out. Holy shit.
All right, here we go.
What's wrong with them?
I'm sorry.
Go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
Go ahead, Julio. Just go play it.
What's wrong with them?
And well, because they don't have the resources to sock those things away.
Why do we have them?
A lot of different reasons, but roughly half those families don't. And where do they
Why
end
do
up?
Armenians have them?
But where they end up is in check cashing places.
But I want to
and
know
these
why
payday
those
lenders
groups,
taking
why
advantage.
those two groups don't have access.
Well, there are a lot of Just happens to be that we can
So
talk
they're
about.
flawed?
This. No, they're hardly flawed, but they're struggling. Folks
Genetically
are making
flawed.
their word. Hardly, not absolutely.
But okay,
not.
so but do
Absolutely not.
Asians have this problem?
I mean, a lot of communities have. A lot of whites have these problems.
Oh,
but
so
I just,
that's not just black and Hispanic.
No, but
But
I'm
why'd you
giving
bring up black and Hispanic?
because the magnitude is ominous.
But why so many of them?
It just happens to be the
Just that's the way God planned it?
Not a.
This is an epic fucking takedown of Gavin Newsom and all his politics.
Yeah, that it's so great because Kurla's got nothing to lose, right?
Right.
What does he care if Gavin Newsom ever comes back on his show?
I know.
He doesn't
I
give a-
laugh out loud every time I hear this. I just see Gavin Newsom is like a mouse, and Adam Curley just keeps smacking him around.
And they love to skew this black and Hispanic number versus white people. Well, we're 82% of the population. The numbers are always going to be skewed in we're the less affected by anything because there's more of us here. But there's still a lot of poor white people that don't have bank accounts in this fucking country. God damn it.
Corolla could care less because that was where he grew up. He was as poor as fuck.
Yeah.
And he did something about it. He put his back into it, and he's got absolutely no reason to try to excuse anything that's going on because he rose above it. The nature of his questioning, it comes right from there. It comes right from, but I was where they are now, and
Dude, I was a poor fucking white 20-year-old. I didn't have a pot. I ate top ramen and fucking hot dogs 5 days a week. You know what I mean?
And Corolla's biggest mistake was getting married because that's what's fucking him right now.
but it's a fact of life.
Yeah.
There are struggles, and you either do something about them or you whine about it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And resilient.
And there wasn't nobody in my family saying, "Hey, Dave, here's a bunch of money. Go fucking find a place and we'll hook you up."
Dave,
Dave was all gone. I had to figure this shit out, and guess what I did? I figured it out.
At all.
I figured it out so well that I bought a PC last night so I can stop streaming on my laptop. That's how much I figured it out. By the time I'm 56, I could buy a PC. Holy
I wonder
shit.
how the poor people are doing.
They have 3 PCs that I've paid for already.
Good point.
I'm telling you, man. I thought you were more geek than laptop. You know, all you have to do is buy a Mac.
Zydax PCs in the past, but I gave them to my kids. And then I started streaming, and I had this laptop. It's a Dell G7. It's a pretty good laptop, but it just doesn't have enough. And so I bought it from this company called Alexander's PCs. It's the chat told me about them last night. They're a military company, Tim, and they have a fucking lifetime warranty on their PCs.
Wow.
Pretty good. And I got a i9 Intel chip with a 4080 card and 4 gigs and all that bullshit. So,
and it runs Crisis.
It'll run Crisis.
It's an old meme.
No, it's still a true meme for a lot of people.
All right, here we go.
Magnitude is ominous.
But why so many of them?
It just happens to be the
Just
magnitude.
that's the way God planned it?
Not at all.
Well, what happened to that?
There are a lot of issues, and with that, the communities are struggling. A lot
Why
of new
are they
immigrants.
struggling?
A lot of different reasons. Lack
Hispanics
of
have been
opportunity.
here. Blacks have been here
difficulty.
longer than we've been here.
Well, we can surmise.
What
all
about
that.
Asians? They were put in internment camps.
Yeah, in fact, it all initiated in San Francisco.
All
And
right.
The Chinese Exclusion Act came
So
out.
are they
progressive
the
San
check cash?
Francisco.
Are they the check cash?
A lot of Asians certainly do.
Oh, so why don't you conclude
Because
them?
the only reason why is the magnitude of
There's
the
so
problem.
many more.
The magnitude in percentage.
But there's no way to
terms
figure out how that happened.
of Africa. We could talk about. You know what I'm dealing with? I don't want to have a sociological debate. I
Sure,
wanna
why
deal
would
with
you? You'd have,
No, here's why.
Why would you want to do that? Because the person from the Times wouldn't write good things about you if you did that.
No, that's not the case because I
You
want to
don't
deal
wanna
with
get into
reality.
that.
No.
You want to deal with reality.
I want to deal with the reality of people
is.
that are struggling. People are suffering. I want to deal with the problems. In
Why
a
are
pragmatic
they
way.
struggling
I don't
and
want an
suffering?
idea. We can hold hands and surmise about all these underlying
Why are they?
reasons.
I don't want to do that.
but
I want to know why
focus
they're
on the
struggling.
challenge.
Why are they struggling?
A lot of folks are struggling because they can't find
Why
jobs.
blacks and
because
Hispanics?
they're working
Why blacks and Hispanics?
across the board, all
Why?
socioeconomic.
Okay, so
everybody's struggling.
So Asians are suffering just as much as blacks.
The face of welfare is not an African American family.
So it's Asian, Jewish, it's all of them.
Caucasian. It's
okay,
a lot of
so
folks
we're all
in society.
struggling.
A lot of folks are struggling.
Okay,
but there are a lot of folks are
so
struggling.
if I go down to the check cashing place, lots of Jews and Asians.
There are.
Okay.
A lot, I mean,
just checking you. Just checking the math.
Absolute fact.
I'm
But
just wondering why you singled those two out.
Because the percentages, and I think these things matter, are profound.
So why? That's my question.
Well, I think there are a lot of reasons why. And
Yeah.
you want to go back to issues of racism? I'll do that. You want to go back to the debate we're having about the Voting Rights Act?
Yeah.
And the fact the Supreme Court wants to.
He's a kid with a fucking microscope. No, he's a kid with a magnifying glass burning Gavin Newsom like an ant. He just keeps chasing him around. He just keeps chasing him around the dirt. Oh, no, you can't go here because you said that. Oh, no, you can't go here because this is what you believe. Oh, no, you can't go here because I heard you say that just 2 seconds ago. And
Well, he said the face of welfare is a white face, but then he said the percentages are what?
oh, it's just that they can't exist unless somebody needs them. And the other side is trying to say you're not supposed to need anybody. Need the Lord, need the fucking dirt, do some shit yourself. And the other side wants you to do nothing. It's the polar opposites of you're either in a prison and everything is provided for you and they tell you when you can go outside and when you can eat and whatever, but you've got warmth and you've got air conditioning in the summer and you're just you somebody else is telling you what to do versus being naked outside and having to build your own house.
But isn't that it's kind of welfare too without the prison walls? You get a fixed income guaranteed. You can't really change your life, Tim, because you have this shitty income, but you think that's the only thing you're worthy of. And if you give it up and you lose your job, then you might not get it again, right? So let's just, I used to think it was, when
they tell you that you're not worth that much. And every time the welfare check comes in.
Hold on, I'm not done. I'm not done.
Sorry, go ahead.
So if I used to think that it was just, evil white Democrat politicians that were doing this, but dude, there's so many black Democrats in power that do nothing to change their own neighborhoods when they get that power, that they're more culpable than the white people, because the white people have never lived there. They don't know. These are rural Democrat politicians from Pennsylvania, rural counties and shit like that. So they have no clue. But these politicians that are from there and they don't, like Maxine Waters hasn't lived in her district in 30 years. She lives in like 2 counties over in a mansion. What the fuck are we doing here? I mean, so when Gavin Newsom says this shit about black people and Hispanics, because it's the code word for all Democrats. We got to remind the black people that their struggle is the biggest struggle of all struggles. That's what he's fucking saying. That's their code words, and it fucking sucks. I hate it. I hate it, Tim. I hate it, Julio, because they are the party that don't give their own people the hope that they should have to strive to do better. Fucking
Bullshit.
welfare ain't the
I
answer
disagree
to
with that,
shit.
Dave.
Huh?
There's either you don't think they're capable of doing it, or they're
You don't
not
want them to do it, dude.
capable of doing it.
You don't want them to
You
succeed,
figure that
because
out.
when they succeed, they move the fuck out, and you don't get their fucking vote. That welfare check is a paid for fucking vote every year or every 3 years or fucking however often they vote for that same party that keeps making sure that when they go to the goddamn grocery store, they can buy shit on EBT that people that work for a living wish they could afford. There's nothing worse, Tim, when you're in line at the fucking grocery store, Piggly Wiggly, down where you're at or whatever, right? And the Walmart Food Center, which is a great goddamn grocery store. Walmart makes a great grocery store. You go there.
My wife loves the Piggly Wiggly.
So you go and
Good
you're
shit.
in line and there's a welfare person in front of you and they got steak, they got all this shit, and I got hot dogs and fucking top ramen because I got to pay for my shit.
Right
It's
on, brother.
fucking discouraging.
I don't go to the grocery store anymore.
Oh, we don't either. We just fucking order it on the app and show up and they throw it in the trunk. Fucking COVID ruined me ever going to Walmart or Target ever again. Ain't walking through that shithole.
Yeah, the 24-hour thing is gone. They realized exactly how much money they were spending keeping places open late, like 24 hours a day. And I tell you, I miss that. I like being able to go into a Walmart when there's no one there.
Yeah,
or if there is anyone there, the craziest person there.
Yeah.
Yeah. This whole welfare system has fucked over America, dude. It's fucked over the working man because he pays higher taxes, and it's fucked over the poor guy because he doesn't have any motivation to try. I mean, you think about it. Obama gave out Obama phones, and however many kids you had, he would give a phone per kid. What the fuck? Like
per kid?
Yeah, that's like their minutes. Like every kid got a certain amount of minutes per month. So, welfare, you get more welfare if you got more kids. So all these ladies are having kids without dads, and they're doing they're doing good enough to where they drive a decent car. They can pay their fucking HUD rent and whatever. It's sick. And
it's set up over around hate.
My kids can't go find a place. They're too expensive. And I live in rural Illinois. It's too expensive for my kids to go rent a place because they have car payments, they have other bills, and then you throw on a fucking $1,500 a month rent for a 1-bedroom house and shit. It's bullshit, man. These kids can't afford it.
Yep. All right, hit play.
Yeah, please do.
Section
What about
5,
their families?
You want to talk? No, but you want to talk
about their families?
But I understand that families are incredibly important. That's certainly part of it.
Yeah,
and people have to be
very
responsible.
small part of it. It's minuscule.
It's a big part of it.
Oh, big.
It is a big
part.
part.
Well,
But
why
all
don't you
these
guys
things
talk
are
about
part of
that then? If it's a big part,
I just brought it up.
If it's a big part. It's a big part. It's a big part that you never talk about.
I do talk about.
No one on your side talks about that big part.
I think President Obama himself brings it up over and over again. Go back to his campaign speeches.
Sure.
He's given some remarkable speeches of importance of fathers in the context of the African American.
You got to be a hero.
struggle.
You got to be a hero to raise your kid.
No, well, you have to be responsible.
It takes courage to raise a kid. I heard his speech. It takes courage, Gavin.
I don't know about courage.
That's what your president said.
No, but to his credit,
let's hear what he says.
Eloquent speeches.
Let's hear what he says. It says it takes courage.
And will work to strengthen families by removing the financial deterrence to marriage for low-income couples, and do more to encourage fatherhood. Because what makes you a man isn't the ability to conceive a child.
That's right.
Having the courage to raise one.
Here's what pisses me off about this. So Obama was raised by a white woman, right?
Yeah, his dad abandoned him. Yep.
Actually, he was raised by. Well, he spent some time with the white woman and
his grandma.
Guy,
their
in
parents.
Indonesia.
Her parents.
He was raised in Indonesia until he was, I think, 12, and then he stayed with his grandparents.
So why is he talking like he's Stokely Carmichael? I mean, what?
Because
it's annoying.
His mom is pretty loud.
Yeah, I don't know if I get your point,
courage.
but at least he made the point that I imagine
made the
you
point
accept
that
it's easy to
like-
have one.
Yes.
But you've got to actually step up and be a man and actually raise one. And he probably used. I think that's
Listen,
what.
Gavin,
ultimately
I know
is
what you're
saying.
saying.
No,
anybody can eat at an IHOP. It takes courage to pay the bill.
I don't.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
It takes
by the
courage
way,
to stay there and pay that bill.
This is the president has spoken not at his State of the Union, as you just exampled, but he's spoken about this in much more comprehensive and eloquent terms.
Yeah.
And I think powerfully so.
Yeah.
And I think principally so. The issues,
This
though,
is his
of-
latest one,
But we
Mr.
want to go to
Courage.
the issue of race as it relates to the issues of poverty. And what we had in the redevelopment agencies and concentration of
I'd
poverty
like
and
to end
public
it
housing
myself.
and all of these things start to lead to why. The answer to your question, why is it concentrated in the African American community?
Why?
Looking at that history, one cannot exclude that reality. I just think
Can't
that's naive
exclude-
to suggest that those things don't matter. When
How
families
about
were
the Jews?
broken up.
How about the Jews? No problems in the past?
No, of course. Every community's got
Well,
their
who's had it
struggles. Heck,
worse?
even the Irish had
Who do you think
struggles.
had it worse?
I get it. But
well,
there-
what about the Jews? They
there's-
seem to be. Why are the Jews doing well?
You know what? In 1967, blacks couldn't even marry whites in this country. Not 1927. In 16 states, they were denied because people use religious arguments.
in
to deny
34 they
people
could. That's a bad argument.
I understand, and it's disgraceful.
Okay, so
and that's why, and it's completely fair game.
How
we
are
could
the
talk
Jews
about
doing
that.
now?
It's completely fair game. We can talk about that.
A lot of Jewish families doing well. A lot of families struggling.
Really?
Absolutely.
At the Czech place?
Sure.
Okay.
So
I'll go down to the Czech place.
Across the board, people are struggling.
All right,
of
as long
course.
as everyone's
I mean, look
struggling
at the
equally.
unemployment lines.
A lot of
They
Jews.
includes Americans of all types, all races, all ethnicities, all sexual orientations.
They're all the same.
My gosh.
That's right.
But, and we could talk about the issues in the Latino community, again, by separating the challenges associated with English as a second language for a lot of folks.
Sure.
The issues of poverty. and
no,
issues
everyone that
related to
came
that.
here spoke perfect English.
No, I understand that. I got it. I mean, I get your world, Adam, which is a little bit more clean cut and idealistic, a little less pragmatic in terms of the world.
It's
that the rest of
wildly
us are living.
pragmatic.
There's a
Yeah, well, I
rich
get it.
guy
with
that's
family,
been
they have
the
a problem
governor, and he's also been a mayor in California, right? What the fuck does Gavin Newsom know about struggle? I don't
What
get
does
what he's
what does
talking about.
I get your world mean? Why would you have to tell someone that you get their world? What does that even? I get your world.
Adam's more pragmatic than I am, but you're the governor, dude. You need to be the most pragmatic. I wish you would look at.
I get
wish you
your
would look at
world.
the
That's
total
like
number of
asking somebody
people.
what their glitch is.
What are the total number of people in California in poverty that are white people, total black people, total Asian, all that matters. Like, dude, there are a ton of fucking poor white people. I don't get this argument about blacks and Hispanics. It's very frustrating, Julio. White people are poor too, dude.
Tell
God
me
damn
about
it. Holy fuck. God damn it, Tim. I know you're sick and it's hard to contribute, but dude, this is some bullshit.
Yeah.
I know where you live, man. There's a lot of poverty down there, right?
In
certain
any town,
parts of
USA, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, just like in Illinois, there's a lot of poverty here, man. You go to some of these towns, they're nothing but fucking meth factories because they ain't got nothing else they can fucking do, dude.
Well, sometimes it's not about how you came up. Sometimes it's about how it went down.
And
you can be completely successful and go through some marriages, family court, and get fucked.
Yeah, and these
all
towns,
kinds of ways you could be struggling.
Yeah, and these towns
Julio
are
makes
full.
a great point that poverty isn't necessarily just a monetary thing.
No,
you can be spiritually weak,
right,
poor, or whatever. You can be emotionally weak and poor. There's a much. I think it's a much bigger umbrella idea that we're all trying to fix here with details. And we're not trying to fix. We're just talking about it right now. But
right.
You know, an attack an attack on the family is like chipping away at the foundation of your house.
I sure wouldn't remind the blacks and Hispanics about how pathetic their existence is. That's what I wouldn't do. But it seems like every politician, that's their goal, is to make sure that they understand how pathetic their existence is in these impoverished neighborhoods, and they're their savior because they've never saved you, dude. It's been 100 years of the fucking new plan from Roosevelt. It's all turned to shit. The whole black wasn't a fact, Jim, in the 50s, like black families had more like mother and father households than white families based on percentages.
Yes. Yeah, the 50s were
You're
awesome.
talking about the Great Society. Before the Great Society, things were doing. Everything was much better for many more people.
The out of wedlock birth rate for black families was lower than whites.
Yeah, and so was the core family. It was like crazy. I mean, but again, the population of white people is just so staggering. I mean, nobody, like, dude, these towns I'm talking about, just like you have in Virginia, just like you have in Florida, poor ass towns. They got no future. They're full of poor white people living in houses that probably needed a paint job 40 years ago, Jim, right? Their fucking wood porch is crumbling and they're living there, and they don't even have the foresight to think maybe I should leave this fucking town and change my fucking surroundings. They don't have any thought process like that because
you're describing a place that I would want to live.
Yeah. I got you.
Like, hey,
So
maybe
hey,
let's get into this old ghost town and hipster this fucking thing. Get a microbrewery in there.
No,
Is there a lake
no.
anywhere nearby?
No.
I'll leave you guys with this wisdom because I gotta go. All right.
Yeah, go
Write this one down. You got a pin, Jim? All right. Republicans buy shoes too.
Oh, Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
Oh, man. When he was on David Letterman,
I got to get up at 7 in 7 hours.
You got
do you
babysit?
really? Shit,
Yeah.
I got to get up at 6:30.
Yeah, I got to go too.
No, I have to leave at 6:30.
It's midnight here though. That's the difference.
But he's out there too.
It's midnight here.
Oh, is it?
Let's
Just-
hey Julio, keep it at this spot on your PC, and we'll play the rest tomorrow.
All right.
In
All
the
right.
Real
private
quick,
chat.
share my meme real quick.
Yeah.
Bullshit
That is a nice
detective.
color pink. Nancy Mace.
You remember,
Who's Nancy Mace?
She was in she's in Congress. They were talking to the Secret Service, the leader of Secret Service, and she told her, "You're full of shit."
I love her.
now."
Is that who
Love
is
her.
that who said it? I thought it was like one or two after her.
No, it was her. Then
Oh,
she's
we
like,
need
you know,
to
everything
maintain
you're saying is
decorum. I'm like, you know what?
bullshit.
At this point, decorum is earned. Yeah, I'll start
Yeah.
talking nice when I start getting answers. Jeez.
Cool.
All right,
Uh,
man.
all right, chat. Thanks for the super chats. Thanks for the memberships, Low Watermark. Guys, if you got a new membership tonight, you can thank Low Watermark. And we'll be back tomorrow night. We'll continue this video. And it's been fun, guys. It's been a good time.
Yeah, it was,
Thank you
man.
all.
Thanks
Thanks for
for
joining ID. And God damn it, I can never ever get this right. I do this like every night. I can never do it right. It's like I got to put that file in a special place.
Thanks for having me on, Dave, Jim.
Of course, Julio.
I
It was a good time.
I don't
Julio.
have any control over what happens here. I'm just a guest.
I appreciate everybody.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, chat. It's been a blast.
More cowbell.